are now.
All right, hello, and welcome everybody to this week's episode or whatever of Broken Crown, where we'll be talking about the silly things that have happened over the last week in politics. I hope you all enjoyed the thumbnail of that lovely picture of Nancy Pelosi
It's
deploying her
disgusting.
fun bags, mid-flight.
That thing hasn't been fun since the Nixon administration.
It's a very fun, if by fun
You mean the sacks?
Yes.
Out in front.
By Kizza, thanks for hanging out with us, Kizza.
That is different to you, Eve.
Oh, I know. I'm sorry. Start off with it says it's F. Oh fuck! What the heck happened? It says excellent connection. Spoon, can you look at OBS?
Yeah, it's on now.
Okay, OBS crashed. God damn it, dude. We gotta find something else. Let's.
OBS is fucking terrible.
God damn it. Okay. Anywho, back to the dumb shit I was talking about. Like, and by that I mean I want to show you something. This is not something that you will find on any. I highly doubt on any other political news stream covered this week. At least this particular little bit of thing, little tidbit, on the subject of Nancy Pelosi and her airbags. When I'm editing video, I can't really listen to like actual intellectual political stuff. Sometimes if it's like a podcast or whatever, I can do that. That's fine. You know, Tim Pool, etc. You know, Lotus Eaters. That's fine. That's fine. But if it's actual intellectual stuff, I need to pay attention to it. So instead, what I often spend my time filling up just the background airspace while I'm working is like internet drama stuff. So I happen to be listening to one such internet drama thing, and I do have to explain this to put into context about what I'm about to show you and why I think it's so freaking funny. Okay.
Which one is it?
So, this guy on YouTube, he's called Def Noodles. He basically does Keemstar stuff. He does like internet. He just covers like, oh, here's this internet drama.
Let's get right into the news.
Right, but Def Noodles has gotten in a bunch of trouble because one, he's insufferable, and his delivery is just to scream at the camera, to yell really loud. And he has been really wrong about a lot of stories, like a lot. So, and he's just kind of been a big douche. His most recent drama, though, again, this stuff is so pointless. Keemstar is in this call, by the way. I want to explain the area of the internet we're talking about, and if you don't know who any of these people are, good for you, honestly. But this is about this Def Noodles guy said that another YouTuber named Papa Gut, who's like a left-leaning progressive kind of dude. I don't know if he'd call himself progressive, but he's like very, you know. It's not like a hard, like Hassan Piker type, like a soft, like very understanding sort of dude. His content's not for me, but for again, this doesn't really matter. The point is, he called this dude. He said he looked like a pedophile, and then made a tweet of him in front of a pedo van. So again, remember, none of this stuff matters to anybody outside. I mean, it is messed up that he implied this dude was a pedophile. That's really screwed up. So they're having, as you can see here, if you'll look at my screen here as I bring it up here for a moment, a 6-hour-long conversation about whether or not, and this was about like was this moral or whatever, et cetera, of on all these drama people. It's you know, it's Keemstar, it's a bunch of people involved in the stupid drama side of YouTube. When all of a sudden, into the call pops a Senate candidate for the state of Kansas. Now, I'm going to play just a little bit of it. I'm going to play it on accelerated speed because I don't give a shit about this and nobody should. It's just, I find the entire thing really funny. Because the guy, he has no idea who anybody is or what is going on there. He just happened to see that there was this Twitter live call going on, and he was like, oh, I'm just gonna join in because there's a lot of people on it and shill my campaign. We'll look at his campaign in a minute, but I want to just play a little bit so you can get an idea of this guy who hopped into this thing he knows nothing about and why I find it personally hilarious.
Pivot to the next thing. I want to kind of just say something because it's often said that politics is a form of theater, but it is often said that comedy and being funny is perhaps the most elusive form of theater. And I would say that numbers don't really lie. When you look at 147,000 people following someone, they're doing something right. When you're looking at, Kim, I'm gonna pick on you.
If you missed that, I'm not gonna bother rewinding it. But the only reason he's in here is because he saw that this guy Def Noodles has a bunch of people watching him, and he's got 150,000 people who follow him on Twitter. That's the only reason why. And then he says, "Kim, I'm gonna pick on you." He's referring to Keemstar. He just doesn't know any better. This fucking boomer barrels his way into this shit. Oh my god.
2.7 million people following somebody, they're doing something right. I just want to.
That's right. You are doing something right, Kim.
And the other thing I want to say about material, and I know I'm going to get a lot of pushback on this.
Oh, I'm sure you are. Okay.
Is that it doesn't make a difference where you are being out in front of the public. You can be doing something like me. You can be doing something like Def. You can be doing something like Kim. But the thing is, you have to try material. You have to try points of view. You have to see what kind of response you get back. Anyway, back to you, Def.
Hold on. I just want to say something. Yeah. Michael, the primary is in August 2nd. What the fuck are you doing here? What are you doing here? The Kansas primary is August 2nd. Why aren't you campaigning?
Again, good point. The Kansas primary is August 2nd. This was like the middle of the night on the 31st. So 2 days away from his primary, he decides the best thing he can do is go on a Twitter live with random drama YouTubers to shill his campaign with Keemstar. It goes on. He gets called a boomer out in it doesn't really matter. That part's not so important. I mean, he was in there for like an hour, which is really bizarre. But I thought that's actually all. Spooner, do you want me to just show my screen the entire time? Would that be easier than you having to move stuff around?
What do you think I've been doing?
No, I'm just saying, is it easier if I just... Alright, then we have to bring stuff up. Alright, I'll do it. Okay, so let's take a look at Mike, I think... How do you pronounce his name? Sodert? I believe it's Sodert. I want you to really take in his website.
So, just really?
Why is it so gay?
It's because openly gay. Run for Senate in the state of Kansas. Look at his website. Look. Okay, so Mike Sodert, U.S. Senate, rainbow flag, U.S. flag, a horrible GIF, dignity, respect, equality for all. Another shitty GIF of his face. Some images that, I mean, all just really Web 1.0 horrible stuff. And then when you scroll down, I was like, well, what's this Mike Sodert dude all about? Why should I vote for him? First point, gay. Mike Soder's the first openly gay, in all caps, candidate for U.S. Mike is a gay Democrat who believes for all. Being pro-life. That's interesting. Because he was adopted. I mean, you know, good for him. I didn't actually know that. I didn't read that far into it, but, you know, so, again, this website is so bad, dude. This is one of the worst things I've ever seen.
I'm struggling to think what this reminds me of.
Like any website from 1995? 98? Something like that, you know? So how do you think Mike did? Yeah,
I'm guessing terribly.
Well, let's find out how Mike did in the election. Did anyone want to take a bet on the vote that he got?
I'm gonna guess less than 5%.
Oh, you are correct, sir. As we pull it up here, primary election results. Oh right, I gotta. Fuck, I hate that. Oh my god, I hate ads. Okay. Show all candidates. Ooh, Mike Sodert, 3.6%.
So what you're saying is 96.4% of voters are homophobic.
I mean, that's how I guess you could say about it, is that, yeah, that 96.3. Or it could be that a day and a half before you were supposed that your election was happening, you went onto a freaking live stream to shill to freaking random drama internet YouTube streamers and video content creators to just basically beg for attention because you happened to see that a lot of people were watching and they had a lot of big sub counts. I mean, it's just
It's
a
like,
different
I mean,
level of
I mean,
cringe and cope.
that's like me jumping into a KSI Discord chat saying shilling to me to become mayor of London because
Yeah,
he's
I
got
know.
23 million subs.
I know, it's so bizarre. I was listening to the actual drama thing because I was like, "Oh, what was going on?" And then this guy popped in, and when I was listening, I was like, "What?" It was one of the most surreal things I've ever seen, and now I am pleased to share it all with you. 5 says, quote, "I assume, Madame President, whipping out my fun bags is integral for Taiwan's independence. Coked out old lady probably most likely." I would buy that. Hosidius for 2 says HTML and CSS prowess incarnate. He is too powerful. I mean, he does understand how some basic HTML is supposed to work. I can tell you that for sure.
They're being re on
Oh,
HTML5 now.
yeah, I can't stand it. I would say though, at the same time, although he did not win in Kansas, the rights of the unborn also did not, as Kansas voted to protect abortion rights in the state constitution. Abortion rights. Kansas is the first state to put abortion court overturned Roe v. Secured a huge win for abortion rights in the U.S. on Tuesday night. They voted to continue to protect abortion. Like Guardian, I get your political leaning. Ugh.
Talking privilege.
Right.
French are right.
But it's also I don't think abortion's a privilege either. I think it's something that has to happen under extreme circumstances. So.
Again, Aidan, the reason why I call it a privilege is because it requires someone else to give it to you.
Oh, is my mic keep cutting out, guys? That's because we're in a new house. No. It's because we're in the new house, so I have to because Bill is streaming downstairs as well, so deal with it. Here's what I'll do. I'll go on push to talk.
So what's the
Okay, there we go. That should be better now. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, it was cutting out in here and there because I had to turn my sensitivity way up, and it was just too much. So, anywho, sorry about that, guys. What was I saying? Okay. Kansas votes to protect abortion rights in state constitution. I don't think either. I think that it's a necessity in some situations, and when it happens, it's a tragedy no matter what. So that's my opinion on the stuff. We've been over it.
Only what to 1.5% of those who get it.
Hmm.
Based on the Planned Parenthood data, it's only 1.5% that would meet the requirements.
For it to be a serious medical.
Yep.
I think actually it was 3% when you included some other stuff, but
No,
yeah.
That's 1.5% to include medical or violations.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I can't remember the exact number. Yeah, it's either way. Well, I was saying, I mean that's my particular opinion on it. I do still think that there should be some other options available to people. That's what I should say is the former is my more. The second one is that I think that the current legislation that's in place, that's like, maybe you should. Like that's 6 weeks, 8 weeks. Okay, you've got some time to do it, and I think.
I mean, most European countries it's 12 weeks.
Oh, in Europe, yeah, it's quite longer. What? No, it's not. No, it's not.
No,
That's incorrect.
No, most European countries is 12 weeks.
I don't think that's it. Okay, it might be 12 weeks, but it's the data on that, and it's certainly that in most European countries, how long it up until you can get an abortion is much shorter. It's much a shorter period of time than in most states in the United States. Because in the U.S., there's several states where it was basically up until birth. 36 weeks.
Yeah,
I think Alaska, California.
Yeah, the longest in UK is 24 weeks, but there is some discrepancy over that.
Mm-hmm.
can't just get it for the sake of getting it.
Well, right. That should be the thing. If it's, I think that's another thing too. Is that like if it's, of course, we
Yeah.
should protect that if the woman like is going to die or whatever or has a serious medical concern, then we can talk about a later one. But
I mean,
yeah.
what did make me laugh is in the 2019 election, there was actually a poll asking women if the time for abortion should be increased, and only 1% of women agreed to it, but 70% wanted it reduced.
Because again, women tend to not actually be as in favor of this as the Dems seem to think that they are. I mean, there are some, but like, look at the women who are super evangelical, and I'll use that word on purpose, about abortion rights. It's always like, it's always a fat lady with multicolored hair or an older woman, and those are the ones who get so up in arms about it. And I'm
The
sorry, but
Gloria
like,
Steinem.
yeah. My ladies, I just don't think that you're number one on the boat of being concerned, first in line to be concerned about this stuff, right?
And
Just
people
my
say
opinion.
my solution to this is far too drastic.
Well, it kind of is, but I
No,
digress.
I would argue it's an effective solution. Because that way you don't get any more abortions.
Do you want to restate for the audience who may not have seen, who may not?
To those who get multiple abortions is for them to automatically forfeit their.
A little bit extreme, my dude. I mean, what would you say that only for elective abortions, though?
No, as in that if you've had more than 2, you get it removed.
What if the woman has what if she has had 2 really genetic issues pop up with 2 kids in a row? Should she have it removed?
Again, genetic, like when it comes to medical reasons,
I agree.
type to have to come out 15 abortions.
Right. Oh
Those
yeah,
tend
I
to be-
agree. And first of all, that's we've talked about and the fact that they're and sucks for 2 says y'all made me look up Nancy's cans. I'm now ashamed. Yes, I found that Memo Bill told me about the meme I used from the which is it's from oh shoot. Now come on, I looked up the account earlier.
Well, I knew about it. Thanks to Yiz's Discord the Dragons.
Session. Oh, did she have? Okay.
Yeah, yeah. We made jokes about it, and I said those are not boobs; those are some massive venom sacs.
Oh, I mean the precise. Yeah, the precise edit though, it's from Silent Meme Jordy on Instagram. Silent Meme Jordy, if you want to check out more of his edits and stuff. Where was I though? Let's God. Shall we move into? Seems like we all want to talk about Nancy's airbags then. So let's talk about what happened. The biggest nothing burger of the.
Oh, is it?
Pelosi going. So.
Yes. So I got a question for everyone on this subject.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think China would act like this if a certain orange man was in charge of the country?
I would highly doubt that. I'll put it that way.
People say having a boisterous, very aggressive leader is a bad thing. No, it's a good thing. In fact, it's the ideal situation. It puts a lot of countries in their place.
Okay, one sec. Okay, something not anymore because I'm now on push to talk, and now it's.
Apparently, I am.
Guys, if I'm on the stream, if I'm still cutting out, I don't know why because I'm on push to talk now, and that I can't be cutting out from Discord end, so we'll have to see. If I've been,
I mean, my connection's great.
Yeah, I know what's happening.
That's weird.
Because yeah, it's been fine for me. I haven't heard any cutting out. Which you should have been able to hear it beforehand.
Yeah.
I mean I didn't hear you cut out at all. Fuck.
No, some people think it might be an OBS problem.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, it might. I don't know. Well, if the stream's just broken, I don't know what we're gonna do. Spoon, are you there?
Yep.
Are you having problems hearing everybody?
Nope.
And it's you're the only one coming through apparently.
That's
Every-
weird.
the re-
Yeah,
that sounds like OBS.
That's
I
not
took off
OBS
That's weird.
because you're
Taking off
glitching
my
as well.
headset.
So it's your Discord.
Wait, am I cutting out for you?
Mm.
Yes?
That's
Yeah.
weird.
So it's Discord.
So-
It's not OBS.
Hey, I don't know why. Maybe it's just Discord being glitchy again.
Great.
just
Hang on, let's
I disconnect my mic.
Alright, I'm gonna
Remark
switch
that
regions
at
and
work.
see if that helps. Am I still cutting out
Ah.
for you, Spoon? You should have told me like 30 minutes ago when we started that was happening, or 20 minutes ago.
Brazil.
Am I still cutting out for you, Spoon?
No.
Okay,
Am I
cool.
cutting out for you?
No.
Alright, cool.
Okay, I think we're all good. Success.
Okay. Okay. Alright, let's all right. Let's get back into it. Sorry guys, sorry for that. We'll get back into right into the news since we're talking about Keemstar. So, as we all know, I believe at this point, Nancy Pelosi bravely flew to Taiwan to meet with some leaders, I guess. And a stockbroker, Bill, yes. As Bill reaches up the stairs and mentions a stockbroker. Yeah, sure. So, yeah, some interesting things that are going on with Nancy's trip. The Daily Beast, or through the Daily Beast, through MSN. Hostidius also for 2 says Nancy's fun bags are eating up the bandwidth. No, it was just, I think it was, we were set to US East, I think, on Discord, and now we're in Brazil, and it appears to be better. I'm shocked
Weird,
it's better
that's
in
it's
Brazil.
much further away. Considering it's much further away, that's really funny.
I know, right? So the whole issue with is that it's dare a U.S. politician recognize that Taiwan is an independent country, and by Pelosi going there now, look, here's my opinion on this. Do you guys think this made up? That it was all theater? Because I think the whole thing was theater. I really do.
Possibly, but
All
then again,
politics
let's be
is
frank
theatre.
here.
Because I mean, what was going to happen? The Chinese were going to, shoot Nancy Pelosi, someone who's aligned with them, out of the sky? Because that's what they were saying was going to happen. Is the Chinese government's going to shoot her plane down? What?
I mean, let's be frank here. That to happen
in Minecraft, of course. But I'm just saying.
No. In Ace Combat, of course.
In Ace Combat, right? In Ace Combat,
whatever the latest one is.
Whichever one we're in. The thing is, though, is that Nancy Pelosi is aligned with the Chinese government. So why would they shoot down their own asset? I don't mean to. Tutorial tones.
Lagging again.
Wait, what?
Huh?
You're both lagging again.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Again, it's Discord.
It's Discord.
It's not my connection.
It's weird.
No, I know. No.
It's
It's
fine.
nothing anybody here can, except for just try to move somewhere else. I was in Brazil, Bill. It didn't work.
Rotterdam's fine since we're in the Netherlands.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Is any better? Bill had to make fun of the Dutch for a minute.
And I mean, quite frankly, Aiden, it's not new to shoot down your own assets once they've served their purpose.
Well, I mean, like, I'm not saying for certain that she's an asset, but she's certainly aligned with the Chinese government. She's certainly aligned with the Chinese the DNC. So, I mean, look, I don't think that's even a conspiracy theory to say at this point, honestly. I guess maybe it is.
Carnegie, great meme. Great use of the meme.
Yeah, Jarnegi for 2 says mission failed. We'll get him next time. Yeah, exactly. And CNN sucks for 2 says repeal the 19th except for MTG and Carrie Lake. Like, subject for a different time, right? But God, This stream has already been so
I mean,
freaking frustrating. I'm
also,
resorting to drinking.
I
Not that I
I
wouldn't
would say
anyway.
though, if she was needed some escorts, surely it would have been smart to come along with some F-22 since they're pretty good with stealth.
Well, hence why
As
the
I
whole thing reads fake to me. That it was all a stunt. What's China gonna
Touche.
do? Blow her out of the sky?
I mean,
And then
they've been. I mean, I hate to be that guy, but haven't they been showing off their so-called hypersonic rockets recently?
and go to war with the US. A potentially hot war with the US. China doesn't actually want that. They want to control the US. They don't want to go to hot war with us.
No, but I mean, I did see a very interesting article from South China Morning Post,
Mhm.
which said Pelosi Taiwan conflict might be good for the planet.
Oh my god.
And by the way, this is a real article for people.
I'm not at all shocked.
This is a genuine article. I posted.
I'm not at all
Discord.
shocked.
I posted in the
Let's bring
YouTube
it up
chat as
here
well.
real quick. Yeah.
I literally saw like a screen cap of this as a meme, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to double check this just to see if it's real. Turns out it is real.
Fuck out of here. I don't want me to.
What does that guy's face look like? The coof medicine just kicked in.
Oh yeah, looks like he's got his boosters. Don't worry, he's all boosted up.
Also,
Yeah, quadruple
military
that.
conflicts go for. This is the kind of shit you would say if you were pro-Russia.
Yeah, true.
Like
Pelosi, Taiwan, and
China and United States goes to war, and then Russia looks
Yeah.
like the better one of the three.
Devastating weather events, breakthrough climate legislation, economic warning signs, and House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's Asia-Pacific itinerary dominated the U.S. cycle last week as the death toll from record flash flooding rises in Kentucky, which was, we got to move in our climate stuff here. Joe Manchin, climate bill. What's his actual point about Pelosi here? Sorry, of course he's running.
Well, I mean,
hang on.
the only truth in the concept of military
Oh my
conflict
god, I
is
can't shut up.
if you
about
try
climate
and
stuff.
use the Genghis Khan defense for environmentalism.
I see. God, he can't. Like, so much of this is just about environmentalism.
Yeah, well, as far as I'm concerned, all
Don't say
environmentalists
gay
are
bill.
hypocrites.
It's just a bunch of like. This is literally just here's my talking points of things that are unrelated. Okay, can we get to a point? What brings back to Pelosi, who has the world guessing whether she will make it to Taipei as part of her Asia-Pacific itinerary. Such a move carries the risk of military conflict in the Taiwan Strait, which would have a dire economic consequence as supply chains run through China and the rest of Asia. Conflict ends up severing trade between the. We'll suddenly need to make do to an extent far greater than before. Pelosi's delegation to Taiwan might just be what the Earth's natural ecosystem needs. Oh my god! So this guy's saying his argument here is that if Nancy Pelosi sparked a global war between China and the United States environment, so he's hoping that it happened.
So what you're saying
What?
is, I mean, China is the biggest polluter at the moment,
Yeah.
and their CO2 emissions, last I checked, since the turn of the century, has increased
Yep.
by over 200%.
Mm-hmm.
And second is India by around 180%.
Yeah.
Do take up around one. Also, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't Taiwan the main?
It is. We're gonna get to that in just a moment. Oh, by the way, Spoon, I know that this is I know you're doing other stuff, but if you want to just like cut out in OBS just my little window so that we can still have the background with all the animations, so it's just not a black black image. You don't have to. It was just a suggestion. Bruh, dude. Let me see. Does he have anything else here to say? Because if that's all it is, that's just a crazy kind of statement. No, I think that's mostly what he had to say about it. All right, but speaking, okay, let's get to you know, all right, right. Let do this real quick. After Pelosi's Taiwan trip, lawmakers on both sides of the aisle are on edge after House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's trip to Taiwan this week, and some say are disappointed in what they describe as the White House's lackluster response. Department of Defense and State Department gave a classified briefing to the Senate Foreign Relations Committee Monday evening, and according to Senator John Barrasso's, that's a Republican Wyoming recollection, senators from both parties expressed concern that Biden administration didn't more full-heartedly back up Pelosi when China started issuing threats, which they did, by the way, but everyone knew those threats weren't real. That's the thing. It was all theater. Why would the Chinese harm somebody who's in Biden's government and high up in Biden's government, considering their close connections to Biden's government? That makes no sense. That would never have happened. The whole thing was a big show. Sorry. Just the way I see it.
Again, if I were to put on my tinfoil hat, either A, it's because she has served a purpose, or B,
Well,
China
maybe.
has moved on to other plans. Just a
Perhaps
thought.
I'd be surprised by that. I mean, it seemed like it was pointless.
Yep. So what's next on the agenda?
But we'll see if it happens. So here's the kind of important part about what you were mentioning before. What's this? Pelosi meets TSMC chairman for photo op amid family's chip stock scandal. What chip stock scandal?
Oh, was this insider trading?
Oh, Speaker, certainly looks a little bit like that. Speaker of the House of Representatives, Pelosi, who has been embroiled in a scandal over her husband's purchase of chip stocks, bill by U.S. Congress, met with the chairman of Taiwan Semiconductor during her trip to the island of Taiwan, which has been blasted as a blatant. Pelosi faces harsh criticism and accusations of her family cashing in on insider knowledge of the U.S.'s recently passed CHIPS and Science Act. The meeting with the head of the world's largest chip maker simply served as a photo op designed to show her efforts to push forward legislation, and it will not have any concrete outcome given TSMC's difficult position, industry analysts noted. Taiwanese are about to make a bunch of money. So is Nancy Pelosi's husband.
I mean, not surprised at all.
Who would be surprised by this?
Yep.
It's all insider trading.
I mean, is that illegal in the United States? Just out of curiosity.
Yeah, but she's never gonna get caught out for it.
Yeah, this is why if China were to shoot her out of the sky, I'm not exactly going to shed a tear.
Right.
Oh my god, you shot down one of the most corrupt, evil people in all of Congress. Oh, what a drag.
Right. Speaking of which, no, as CNN said earlier for two, so that it would care. Yeah.
I would elect to add more gasoline to that commie fire. Let just turn up with a giant shell truck, and just let the whole thing burn.
Just to further explain the incredible backhandedness of this. During the meeting, Pelosi and TSMC chairman Liu Dian discussed the so-called CHIPS and Science Act, which offers $52 billion to support chip manufacturing in the U.S., according to a report by Fortune on Wednesday. Details of further discussions held during the meeting are sketchy, but the Fortune report noted that Pelosi met with the TSMC chairman because the company is the world's most valuable semiconductor manufacturer, which will likely be a beneficiary of the U.S. legislation because the company's plan for a $12 billion chip factory in the state of Arizona.
That was the point of her visit.
Yep. That was it. That's all this was.
Interesting.
Was to line her own pockets. She helped put in this legislation, and now she's lining her own pockets because her husband has a bunch of stock in these companies.
China shoot her out of the sky.
Speaking of insider trading, the Insider Trading Act was signed into law on November 19th, 1988 by then President Ronald penalties for all involved parties to insider trading. Interesting.
Here it is.
So,
in mid-July, several U.S. outlets reported that Pelosi's purchase of between $1 and semiconductor giant NVIDIA just weeks before U.S. Congress was set to pass the CHIPS Act. So he's about to make he's about to make bank off of this. And you're right. That's why. Let's not get this shit twisted. This was not about respecting Taiwan. This was not about, showing up old Xi Jinping that America's a sovereign nation.
Yeah, it's about money.
Pelosi, yes.
I said that from the very beginning. Like, if you think these people gave a flying shit about sovereignty or human rights, any of that crap, no, it's about money. It's always about money. These people don't give a flying fuck.
Power and control.
Yep.
By the way, it's been used.
Yeah, I know. Like, here's the problem. We'll see.
Yeah,
Until we have to travel to another country, we'll see if it's okay. Because right now, as long as you, it's not too breaking up too much.
Again, I'm not surprised about any of this. Chip. It is ideal to have a strong chip manufacturing base in your home, rather than being super reliant on another country.
Yeah.
Maybe that's my nationalist head talking there. What does everyone else think?
No, that's just common sense.
Right. You want to have your own, but the thing is that the that are going to be built are going to be owned by this, which and they're going to sell some of the to use. So the more money that the U.S. puts into it, the more money they make either way. Interested in Taiwan?
Of course. I mean, wasn't there a similar months ago about some electric car bill? A bunch of people in Congress started buying Tesla stocks.
Oh, right. Mm-hmm.
Remembering that.
Yeah, and then when asked, hey, have you ever made any trade of things that you said to your husband? No, never. Get fucked.
Out.
You lying
press
bitch.
About everyone.
Real quick, Riley wrote person, but do you want her to be a martyr that the public No, I don't.
No, I'd rather China be thanked for their service to the United States by shooting her out of the sky.
No, but his point though is that if she had been shot down, that she would be martyred. But that was what our point is that this whole thing was fake. That this was all about money. None of this was about respecting Taiwan. It was even political. It was purely to get
money. By the way, she's an evil human being. You're like 80 years old and you're still trying to just gimp the system.
It's absolutely reprehensible.
What the hell
and they
is
do this
why?
shit all the time. Yeah, they always do this.
Why are we calling these?
I was human once. The thing is that I'm cutting out.
Yeah, you're cutting out a lot.
Yeah, it's just shifting on Discord. Unless we all like refresh.
How about you just get somebody else to host the call?
I don't think that's gonna matter.
Why?
Because
I mean, that's.
What do you mean, someone else? Do you want to find another service? We can try to find another service.
No, as in I host the call.
I mean, we could try that temporarily. Give us all just
okay. Disconnect.
Hold on.
Testing. 1, 2.
Whether that works, I don't know.
Hello?
Yes.
Hello.
I can't imagine why this would work better, but watch it will. Just because I can't figure out why it would.
Just blame sexism.
Of course, obviously sexism. Speaking of sexism.
Anyway, we're back from that intermittent. Oh no, I'm just making fun of the Monty Python skit.
Oh, okay.
You know, where it goes intermission.
Okay, so considering that, I think there just seems to be something wrong with this. A little bit and then see what's up. What would you guys rather talk about next? I'll give you the titles of my segments, right?
Okay.
So there is no recession in bossing, say.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The Hill has gone mad, which is there's 2 Hill articles that I think did videos on.
Oh god, yeah, those were great.
They're insane.
They're fantastic.
Tyranny in the West.
Do the Hill ones. The Hill ones are fantastic.
All right, let's. Funny. Should we start with AOC being the Democrats' best shot, or Biden's no Reagan, but he sure can win like him?
The idea that Biden would be like Reagan is laughable. Like, I'm sorry. Reagan beat Carter during the end of a recession. Trump, like you would be
trounced Carter.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Like you would not be Reagan in this scenario, Biden. You would be Carter because you're already emulating him to a T. Like, how stupid can you be?
I don't know. It's funny as hell.
Also, Reagan was a highly popular actor.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
No, which is different to Joe, who's a career politician.
And can actually act.
Democrat.
It's also it's just Joe's already had a term, well, a half a term, to show just how. And by the way, and 8 years as vice president, where at least he was mildly more competent, mostly because he was not fully senile and mostly out of the spotlight. I mean, he did stick his fingers in the honeypot known as Ukraine and line his own pockets with that one too.
Let's not forget his run in 1988, where he had to rip off Neil Kinnock.
Where he sure,
And
and
back then, when
not
the
the
media-
only time, not the.
Well, I mean, at least back then, nonpartisan and actually ripped him apart for that.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes me laugh. You had to rip off a failed Labour leader.
Yeah. And that repeatedly. Spoon, if you don't mind, though, would you also pull the stream thingy back up in a little, the little cropped up thingy so that we can have
it on Tetris.
I know he's gonna play Tetris, but I'm saying so that way we can also have the article on screen.
I mean, if we could have like a non-copyright version of Type A, because that track is brilliant, even though it's based on like an 18th century Russian piano song.
Yeah.
Not even joking, by the way.
Yeah, Biden is no Reagan.
But in short, but he can win like him, says John Fury, opinion contributor.
Yeah, right. More likely than Jeb Bush is going to take the entirety of the United States.
For sure. Joe Biden is no Ronald Reagan. Some Biden partisans are trying to link the conservative icon with our current bumbling president. And look, I love this, that they have to admit he's a freaking moron and an absolute embarrassment. They'll just use very slight disparaging terms like bumbling, right? I hate it. And of course, there's no comparison. Reagan was a gifted communicator. I'm sure that it really hurt you to be able to type that, even that compliment. John was a gifted communicator. Biden is in the Malapropised Hall of Fame. Reagan had a Biden blows with the wind. Reagan was a staunch anti-communist. Biden, not so much. That's a good thing in your eyes, right, Ian?
No matter how so far.
No, Reagan was pretty communist. Have you not heard of his jokes?
Which Reagan joke?
Oh, about how a Russian can complain to his president versus an American.
Oh yeah, that's a good joke.
I don't remember this. No.
Okay, I'll explain the joke. As an American, I can go to the president's desk, bang his desk, and say, "Mr. President, I don't like the way you're running this country." The Russian goes ahead and does the same. He bangs on the desk and said, "Mr. President, I don't like the way Ronald Reagan's running the country."
Very good, very good. That's a good one, yeah. Let's see. No matter how dissimilar Biden is from Reagan, Biden can still pull a Reagan. He can come back from a bumpy first 2 years and win re-election.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen.
Okay.
Not with massive fortification, of course. Times Magazine.
Look, I don't think they want to fortify. I don't think
that.
Yeah, I don't think they want to fortify.
Doubt.
On Biden, I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure if they want to fortify again for him. Anyway,
they tried to do this in Arizona just now, and it didn't work.
Right. Indeed, recent history would suggest the current president is slightly favored to win a second term. I mean,
what are you high?
I mean, what metrics?
Based on what?
What metrics? His approval rating even at the positive metrics is 36%.
There's no way it's that high. It's below 30.
Yes.
Yeah, and let's be frank here. How much media positivity coverage has he had? What, over 90%?
Yeah.
Yes, the media is 90% positive towards him, and they'll count this as a negative article because he called him bumbling. I guarantee it.
He is bumbling.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying
slightly
the
favored to win a second term. Based on what? Like where are you pulling this from?
But should he decide that he wants to run, and that's going to be what it is.
Taken from him.
I'm still.
They're going to say he decides he doesn't want to.
I mean, I hate to be that guy, but does anyone want to take my bet about what happens early next year?
I think I've told my conspiracy, my tinfoil theory about what I think will happen. What's yours again, Kizza?
Oh, come right after early 2023. The Democrats pulled the 25th, so Kamala or whoever takes over can theoretically have 10 years in office.
I'll tell you why that won't. I have a similar hypothesis, but it's a little bit different. Because that then they have to admit. First of all, then Kamala has to run the country for a significant period of time,
Which
and
won't
that's going to
happen.
be a disaster. Yeah, they can't let that happen.
Hmm.
Instead, what I think is most likely is they'll pull a right out of George, W's playbook, which is I mean,
create a crisis.
be a crisis. I'm not going to say what it is, but there will be a crisis that will be designed to paint Biden as a victim or a sympathetic, and Kamala as sympathetic, and that we
Oh,
all.
wait. I just had a really evil conspiracy thought
Oh,
right now.
if it's
Ooh.
if it, let me finish mine real quick, and then
Okay, go ahead.
I'll hear yours out because it's I'm almost done. Is that if Biden, who needs to be sunsetted, happens to be sunsetted by a right wing extremist, and then right before the elections, so there's a lot of love and being like, oh, well, actually, Biden wasn't that bad, and really we need to deal with these right-wing extremists, and that's the real problem, and we can all come together, right, like we did back in the good old days, right after 9/11, and be a whole country again, and go after those terrorists. That would be my tinfoil, but we'll see.
Yeah, my crazy conspiracy I just thought of. Make Joe Biden a victim. Here's a clue. The Fed set up some supposed super right-winger from 4chan
That's what I'm saying.
with $5,000+ worth of weaponry and ammunition.
Right, he's an they
And they basically use him to get rid of Hunter Biden.
or anyone. I mean, Hunter, I don't think that they would do.
Specifically Hunter.
Why do you think Hunter? Because Hunter, anytime that he's in the news whatsoever, it's a bad thing for Joe.
No, okay, let me explain. Hunter's Joe Biden's only son, unless he has another son. That's still alive.
Well, not anymore.
Okay, yeah. So you get some far-right, quote-unquote, far-right extremists that the Fed found on 4chan, give them loads of money and ammunition, and then you set them up to murder Hunter Biden. That's the big victim clause, and then everyone gets behind Biden as a grieving father.
I mean, either way, it's that I see that stuff happening. Look, like I said, the U.S. government paid for the fact that it seemed that they freaking killed MLK. All right, I don't think it's. I also believe that they killed JFK. That's just my personal opinion. Now the MLK one, that part's the U.S. government basically conceded it. So I don't know. I can see them doing that crap. Is all I'm saying.
I admit that is a batshit crazy idea to come up with. But it wouldn't.
I had that idea like 8 months ago. So
I have
different ideas.
I mean, a lot of people. Okay, let's say.
What do you think, Spoon?
Nothing is going to happen whatsoever.
I mean, you know what?
That's a good.
That's the most likely thing, is it not? Because nothing ever happens.
Because first of all, the Republicans are not going to pull any shit because Kamala Harris is insane, whereas Joe Biden is senile but essentially harmless compared to Kamala, roughly speaking. And I don't know what would happen to the Speaker of the House, because past 2022, McCarthy or Pelosi would no longer be the Speaker of the House. So I don't know. I mean, I don't think the Republicans can impeach both her and Biden, and then somehow McCarthy becomes the president.
No, they wouldn't do that either way. Like I said, my hypothesis on it is that they need to get public sympathy back on their side, because it's so.
That's not going to work. Like, the Democrats are so unbelievably unpopular that's not gonna.
No, but according to this Hill article, Biden is gonna win.
The Hill can suck my tiny.
What is, dude? Like
my tiny chrome silver bollocks of a spoon.
You're completely out of your minds, guys.
Yeah, of course, but that's the thing that's funny, is because that it looks like they're completely out of touch with the reality. I mean, they are, but
they are.
It also makes people hate you.
Well, but here's the thing.
Kiss my tiny ass.
It's a little bit confusing, right? Because who reads all these news articles about, like, prospective thoughts about the election and that Biden could be like
lefties are trying to cope, because any right winger would read this and think they're insane and laugh.
Right, because it's funny as hell. Speaking of which, let's get back in it and read. Let's look at this freaking cope, lads. It is unbelievable.
5 ways that Biden can win a second term. You have to be high to read the first 3.
Yeah, I mean the economy rebounds strongly. I'm sorry. Isn't every single metric inferior to
every metric?
Late 2019, early 2020.
I don't
Everything is in
understand.
the toilet.
I don't understand the first point of that article, or that stanza of the economy. Whether we're in a recession or not right now, it doesn't matter. Okay.
Yes, it does. Yes,
what
it
what
really
is your
matters.
metric for rebounding strongly if it doesn't matter if you're in a recession? That doesn't make any sense.
In order to
I
rebound
know
strongly,
it's
you
like
have to be above.
you have to
Sorry,
be to rebound. You have to be below. That's the problem. I mean, it's
What's your metric for a good economy then?
actual income.
Oh, I can figure some metrics.
Actually, do not speak the English language, John. Isn't that your name? Like, do not rebound. It has to be rebounding from some place.
Well, I mean, for me, I would argue for it to rebound strongly, it would have to be almost equal or superior to where it was, which is objectively
Well,
not
then
true.
his second sentence after that is whether or not we're in a recession doesn't matter. What are you talking about?
Really? Oh, really? Tell that to all those who were screwed over in 2008 and 2009. Yeah. Some countries are still suffering to this very day because of that recession. Here's Bill Clinton. It's all your fault, you fucking cunt.
Yeah.
Sorry for my language.
So what matters is where we are fiscally and economically. In 2024, Americans tend to be short-term, or tend to have short-term memory. Reagan's recession hurt congressional Republicans in 1982, but with inflation tamed. Yeah, here's the thing. Inflation is not taming. They keep spending, so that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Paul Volcker was the guy who got inflation out of the Fed. The guy in charge now is not pulling Volcker. He's more pushing the guy who was in charge during Carter's administration. So this is not helping. You just spend like what? How much million pounds in the fucking Chip Act and the Inflation Reduction Act, which even lefties have just said this is not going to actually reduce inflation. It might do like 0.5% post 2024. So how is it a short-term win?
Which is to say, let's put more money into the economy out of our reserves. I don't know if you know how inflation works.
No,
but,
they don't.
Maybe you need to have a really. I'm not even saying like read Thomas Sowell's Basic Economics. I'm saying you need to go. We need to go to like kindergarten level with like blocks to be able to explain this to you.
No, Aiden. I got the perfect explanation that even children will understand. Right?
Okay.
Think of juice. Or squash that you add water to.
The juice?
Water is the inflation.
Yeah.
Juice is your money. Water is the inflation. Add water to the juice, you liquidate it. Too much water, and you end up eradicating the juice where it means nothing.
Don't talk about eradicating the juice.
Very funny. But ultimately, if you liquidate the juice enough times, you'll end up with no juice. What are you going to do? Try and boil it to try and get the juice back? No chance.
Yeah.
You're going to burn the money, wipe your ass, and flush it down the toilet like they did in Zimbabwe.
Well, that's all it was worth at that point.
Exactly. So, I mean, I don't know about everyone else here, but I would argue it should be illegal for government to print its counterfeit. And if any of us were caught doing that, we'd be straight in jail for a very long time. And also, it should be illegal for government to borrow money.
I'm not sure, but
once you reach that cap, no more spending, unless you make money. Or I don't know, maybe selling off some of those assets you have.
You know what you should do?
Oh, what? Does it involve term abortion against the Congress and the Senate and the Federal Reserve?
No, the last one is the bit that I was referring to.
Oh yes.
Yeah, abolish the Fed.
Yeah, because it did not do what it claimed to do, but did the exact opposite.
Yes. Like Thomas Sowell said, like it was supposed to cut back on inflation and prevent deflation. It reached historic highs on both those things under the Federal Reserve. So the idea was wonderful. It was only the reality that didn't cooperate.
For the Dems, it seems is that unfortunately their grand ideas conflict with reality.
Yes, every single thing the Dems think that this will do, it has the exact opposite. Like all of the left's policies are terrible failures. Every single one of them for over 100 years. Every time a government... I've actually said this before in a previous video. Every time the left puts up a Democratic president, they preside over something catastrophically bad for the last 60 years. Every single time. They're just a shit party. They suck. They're
well,
a useless,
that's Arthur's
terrible
question,
political
MMT.
entity. Get rid of them.
Yes, please do. To answer Arthur's question about MMT, that's cancer, and it's the
Modern
main
monetary
reason why
theory.
we're in so much debt. Modern monetary theory. It's terrible, and it's debt currently.
If you think modern monetary theory is valid, you're an idiot, and I don't want to talk to you.
Yeah, like I had to deal with some Scottish socialists trying to lecture me on it, and I'm like, look at when it was introduced.
And that's the quintessential thing is it's just like, oh, money means whatever we want it to mean. Actually, no, it doesn't. You can't just give people more money and print more money. It's a really nice little theory, but here's the thing about theories: they need to be based in fact, and they need to be based in evidence for the idea that MMT would function in any way whatsoever. Personally,
that reminds me. I have a small bone to pick with Shorefat Otaku's Biden inflation video. The idea that you print money, productivity. Yeah, you forgot to mention that when you shut down the economy, productivity dropped like a rock. And you've been playing catch up ever since. The idea the government invests money to increase.
What the hell was I just going to
the
look up
exact
again?
opposite. Sorry, what was that, Spain?
No, I'm talking to myself.
Alright, again, Arthur, like, modern monetary theory is the reason why the West is in so much debt. I'll give you the prime example of my country. Back in 1972, when the UK signed up to the European Union, it was in 32 billion debt. Now it's near 2 trillion. All thanks to MMT. Again, it's terrible.
And the basic premise is just that we'll never have to pay it back. Eventually, your money won't be worth anything because you devalued it so much.
Who's it owed to? That's the real question. I mean, I remember there was this meme going around about European countries owing each other money. It's just like, at what point is it going to be paid back? Like, because generally, unless countries have this special clause where they don't have to pay anything back, you might as well just borrow all the money you can and just not care.
That's basically what MMT proposes, though. Just borrow forever because you'll never actually have to pay it back. Because it's all. I'm super simplifying.
Stupid.
I'm super simplifying MMT, by the way. I'm hyper simplifying, but that is basically what it is. Is that it doesn't really mean anything. So just borrow as you please.
Off.
By the way,
Actual physical.
You see this guy?
You want to say
Esafedin Amus? Watch him. He was on Lex. He was on Lex Friedman's podcast a couple of weeks ago. Watch him if you want to watch a good video on the economy. He's a Bitcoin guy. But he's also an Austrian economist, which means he's correct, and everyone else is gay.
I would give a lot of praise to Friedman. But Friedman was very wrong.
Not in Friedman.
No, Friedman is not a Austrian in that sense.
Yeah, I know. I know he's a Chicago guy, and technically, I think Sol is as well.
Yes.
But I know a lot of people talk about his praise for being economics. I'm like, yeah, he's correct. Which certain leftists have tried to use to push freaking UBI. No, it's a bad idea. It doesn't work. And case in point, we already have policies like that in the UK and US, United States.
Yeah.
Called working tax credit.
And Arthur, MMT. I know it's allegedly on paper about regulating inflation, but you have to understand inflation and debt are related when you talk about national level economies.
Again, if you want to regulate inflation, the best regulation forward is to abolish the printing of money.
Money, yeah.
Go back and
fiat currencies.
Inflation, by definition.
Yes, just you not currency.
Yeah. Like just get rid of the ability to
Gold,
print it.
silver.
It will naturally just increase in value because supply and demand. When you make it finite, it will naturally become more and more desirable.
Because because it is a finite resource, so there's only.
It also doesn't depreciate in value because it's finite.
I mean,
exactly.
It can fluctuate over time, but it's not going to overwhelmingly depreciate. You're correct.
Yeah,
like it'll fluctuate.
The main thing is you don't want a currency that can fluctuate in quantity wildly because this is what makes it unstable.
Yes, we should instead the gold standard.
Exactly. Or if you don't want to use gold,
the gold standard is not viable today.
Perfect. I agree.
Because gold in the olden days was not as much of a manufacturing metal as it is now. That's the problem with having gold as a currency now.
Silver standard then.
Oh, actually, I was thinking if you attach it to lithium.
Lithium
is in batteries.
That's
yeah, it's
highly
also
desired though.
Yeah, but it's designed for commercial purposes. Yeah, that's the problem.
And
this is why the guy
too.
said Bitcoin is the best one, because Bitcoin is more decentralized.
And because gold also manufacturing, diamonds are using a lot of manufacturing. Silver might be the better one to go by.
The funny thing of it is right now is that Russia has used gold to back their currency.
Right.
And it's actually stabilized, which is insane.
Well, we're going to get into that in just a moment about how I thought Russia was going to fall apart, but actually they have like the best economy in the world right now.
Yeah, they have the strongest growth for currency right now in the world, which is insane considering that the amount of sanctions that was blasted and Russia just were like, no, we can endure and actually come off better. So if you're on the SWIFT banking system and you look at America right now, you think, well, Russia was able to take the punishment and got off and is better for it. So why are we in a system with the Americans?
Economy? I'll bring it up right now. Okay. I know.
If you believe people from like the IMF talking about the G20 economies, this is the same IMF who've never been correct about fucking anything.
Okay. Arthur doesn't believe that the
yeah, I don't care what he says. He's not an economist.
Currency in the world this year from CBS News.
Yes, I don't care what he says because he lives there. Like, I'm talking about what the statistics say. One person does not make fucking anything valid.
Even as Russia mocks historic default on its debt, the nation's currency is gaining strength. This was and high against the dollar this week, continuing its streak. This was in early July, as the best performing currency in the world this year. 3 months after the ruble's value fell to less. Amid the toughest economic sanctions imposed on a country in modern history, Russia's currency has mounted a stunning turnaround. The ruble jumped 45% against the dollar, $1 worth 53.45 rubles as of Tuesday. In an unusual, said Jeffrey Frankel, professor of capital formation and growth at the Harvard Kennedy School. Normally, a country facing international sanctions and a major military and a steady outflow of capital causing its currency to drop, but Russia's unusual, aggressive measures to keep with a dramatic rise in fossil fuel prices are working to create demand for the
so
no,
almost every other currency's become
Arthur, you can't now say who cares as soon as it's like you got proven wrong on it, my dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everyone's grocery bills have gone up. That's kind of the point.
Arthur, if you want your grocery bills to come down, here's a tip. Why not countries, go absolute overkill in production of groceries? A lot of food waste, but that way that shit would be cheap as chips.
Well, no, you can't do any of that now. We're shutting down all the farms in the Netherlands.
Yeah.
The most verdant farmland in Europe and replace it with a with
some Lysenkoism.
Megacity.
Sure. Lysenkoism. Tell me, guys, how did that work out for Ukraine again?
It worked out absolutely fantastic. It was one of the greatest losses of life in human history.
How many deaths was it again? Was it 3 million or was it 12 million?
It was a lot more than that. You'd have to have me. Let's see. Holodo more.
I mean, I've heard estimates as low as 3, some as high as 12.
3.9.
I've seen them as high as 12. 3.9 is what genocide studies, the first result says. But I've seen it.
Yeah, I've heard as much as 12 million. If you look at after effects, if you talk about not like all people involved.
I find it really funny that so many communists are now against Russia. It's rather funny.
What's that, sorry?
There's so many lefties who are against Russia, which is really weird.
Yeah. I don't know.
Well.
It's some funny stuff.
And they're pro-United States. They're pro-democracy, but they also hate democracy at home. It's like, what the fuck?
Here's the thing about that. That's really funny. Real quick. I know exactly, I think, what you're talking about, and I did want to bring this up, is that 2 days ago, moved his a Ukraine flag from his Twitter profile, his Twitter bio, and replaced it with flags.
Taiwan flag. I've seen it because apparently he's now pro-United States.
It's the U.S.
Against
flag.
China.
The U.S. flag is the first one. The second one
a complete retard.
is the Taiwan flag. The third one is Kosovo.
Kosovo? Seriously?
Yes.
Wait. Kosovo?
Yes.
I'm gonna point out to a fucking map he's now in favor of.
Because...
Like, quite literally, that place didn't exist 40 years ago.
I mean,
quite frankly, it's just a hotbed of fucking Serbians and Albanians.
It's been 40 years that Kosovo is its no. He's now
also wasn't NATO responsible for a lot of that drama?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, another good reason to get rid of NATO. Next.
So
yes, under Clinton.
So again, I found that very
illuminating.
Curious. What? Yeah, and illuminating. Yes, curious, illuminating, whichever. Places his Ukraine flag, and now U.S. flag, Taiwan flag, and Kosovo flag.
Because Aiden thing.
Oh, I know. It's not the current thing, so it's not relevant anymore.
I mean, I don't care a damn what that fucking marionette thinks.
Yeah. Oh, Arthur, I'll look at your article in a bit. I'm gonna have to translate it from Russian,
That's YouTube.
I don't know if the ruble is stronger or not, Arthur, but I can see that the CBS article says it is, and
it's doubled in value.
You can see there's. I mean, like, I don't trust everything inherently that the media publishes on. Certainly not CBS News, but
when it's on Russia, you kind of like to think it's credible.
That's quite a rise in comparison to what's happened. Whereas everyone else, it's
plummeted.
Like what, 8 to 16%? You? Russia's currency's literally increased.
Well, you can see on the graph. Here's where massively when they invade Ukraine, and here it is in July.
Yeah, wonder why.
From 0.007 to 0.019.
Yes.
I think it's just Discord.
Long live Papa Putin.
Crummy stuff with Discord right now. But here, let's hear. Why does CBS say? Why did the ruble recover? And more expensive in Russia. Everything's more expensive everywhere in the world right now. Housing, cars, groceries. Everything's more expensive.
Want to talk about real estate?
Everywhere.
Yeah, my country, it's gone up by triple.
Triple.
300+%, and it's not stopping.
My God, dude, like, I buy new stuff, and it's like, look, there's some things that I'm setting aside. My little tiny, I only have some money saved up, not a lot, but enough, to like not die. Most people should have a bank, and for my new home, I'm buying. It's on sale. It's 200 pounds. It's an inflatable one, an inflation one. It is a product of inflatable one. I can get that for 200 pounds. That's not bad at all. Fuck, I'm gonna do it. That's a lot of money, because what you get for 200 pounds now, like, we went out to buy groceries 2 days ago or whatever, and just to buy like basic groceries and shit, 150 pounds, basic like stew beef, bacon, eggs, that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? We're not some frozen stuff for if things get bad. When I moved here, 3 years.
Discord, stop being so fucking gay.
Sorry about Discord, guys.
Yeah, and also, again, much of this problems with, again, cost of living can be directly associated with our pushing terrible policies.
Yep.
Just get rid of them. And you fix the problems. And that's in my country. Bit of mass immigration.
They want inflation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we know for a fact inflation is 8. As far as the last one I saw in the United States was 8.1%.
Yeah, again, my country's 8 or 9%, but really it's about double that when you take into account everything.
Yeah, when you take into So why the ruble recovered, at least according to CBS News. Main reason commodity prices, as we just mentioned, right? After Russia invaded Ukraine, already high oil and natural gas prices rose even further. Yes.
And who's paying the bills for that?
Everybody.
Yeah, but who specifically is which outside of Russia, who's paying?
EU.
No, one specific country, Aiden.
What,
A
Germany?
political bloc. Deutschland über alles. And who warned them against that again?
All of a sudden now Germany is, as we talked about the other day, I don't have that article up, but Germany's now considering returning to coal.
Well, again, Aiden, that's because of 2011. They shut down all the nuclear plants. Realized, oh shit, wind and solar are useless, so we have to destroy ancient woodlands and old villages to get access to dirty black coal to meet their energy demands, violating the fucking Paris climate.
I don't have any sympathy.
Which in Brussels they helped promote into place. And the thing is, like, just staunch freaking supporter of nuclear. I think the reason why these countries be so anti-nuclear stable. They know that it's stable.
No, Aiden. The real reason they're against nuclear is because of Chernobyl, which
I don't believe that.
No. They always use Chernobyl as the example.
That's what they tell you. That's what they tell the plebs. That's what they tell the plebs when they go.
Even anti-nuclear protesters always refer to Chernobyl, which I point out to them. Who's in charge of that again?
Soviet Union.
Russians.
Well, or they'll say 3 Mile
literally,
or Fukushima or 3 Mile Island. They've got 3 examples that they always bring up: Chernobyl, Fukushima, and 3 Mile.
Due to an earthquake, and there was a 50-year-old reactor, and no one died.
A lot of people had very severe long-term damage that probably did kill them, and that area is largely uninhabitable and right around it.
Yeah, well, considering the fucking brain capacity of people who are pro-green, I think they already have brain damage.
I know, but I know. All I want to say, though, real quick, is that the people who bring up Chernobyl all the time, those are the normies. Those are not the people who are actually running this stuff. The people who actually make these decisions at the longitudinal, at the higher up level, the politicians who make these policies, not because they're afraid of Chernobyl. It's because they don't want people to actually have access to cheap energy. They want to be able to control.
Exactly, and also another aspect, they want to push the green agenda because it lines their pockets.
Because it makes them very rich.
As Spoon correctly pointed out in one of his videos but the amount of the people who have huge assets or companies who work for solar panels or wind turbine companies, they fund.
Well, by the way,
that was one of my videos.
Republicans as well.
Yeah, you brought this up in. So to the panel, to the chat, which party do you energy companies
well, be honest, it's the Dems. They absolutely they literally
exactly the Democrats, because they're the ones who will flush all the money there, and they were all in favor of that green
and put in a bunch of and put in new legislation that makes it so the only energy you can have that's not taxed and has a bunch of regulations put on it.
Despite the fact
it's impossible for it to be as profitable as anything else. That's we know who it is.
And on the nuclear question, anyone who's still skeptical talk. In fact, there's 2 of them by Michael Schallenberger. I'm pretty certain that's how you say his name. Just look him up, and one of his first TED talk I ran into him was why I was wrong on nuclear power, and he goes into why solar power and also the sheer amount of resources it takes to freaking create them.
The thing. Have to use a whole shit ton of non-renewable resources to do solar and wind, and I've talked about this before. I need to actually find it and make it one of those sources that I can just like leave on my desk. But the reality is, the last time I looked into this, that the human cost in terms of death per kilowatt, the highest per kilowatt is solar and wind, because people die when they're per kilowatt. Of course, you have to understand that the amount of energy produced by nuclear is. If you see the graph, I see the graph in my head. Like the amount of energy produced by nuclear is so massive comparatively to solar and wind.
Also
when
another
you even
thing is
factor in 3 Mile Island and Fukushima and Chernobyl, the death per kilowatt is
Tiny.
Solar and wind.
Barely noticeable. Just
Yeah.
like our CO2 output per capita.
Mhm.
But hey, let's not talk about that. But also,
Compared to China, for
another
sure.
thing as well that nuclear is superior to all those things. It takes less in resources. It also has higher kilowatt per capita by a significant margin, and also it's regardless of time and weather conditions. Wind is useless if it's not windy. Useless
Right.
if it's not a bright sunny day.
Yes, and it's other factors, and it takes to make these wind turbines and to make the solar panels. So as Furious Dan I think brought up is that, like, yeah, I actually don't know if there's really suspicious and questioning if wind and solar have been able to actually ever replace the amount of energy that they have consumed to have been created in the first place.
Oh, I remember looking up a study. I think it was from the Netherlands.
Mhm.
They made that solar panel cycle. Remember 10 years ago about the
Yeah,
whole
yeah.
solar freaking roadway shit.
Solar road. That's because they were like, that's not
Yeah,
gonna
it was
work.
ripped. But anyway, they still somehow got funding. But anyway, guess how long it would take from memory? How
Mhm.
long it would take for that cycle pathway to reclaim back the money in energy? How much
Yeah.
it cost?
I shudder to think.
It was either 400 years or 4,000 years.
Yep.
Now, if you were to do that with a new, you would make your money back in energy. I bet easily in less than 4 years.
I mean, look, nuclear power is dangerous. Of course, we want to move towards fission, right? The two screwed it up.
Gen 4 nuclear power
Will
has potential, and this is
molten.
technology.
Yes.
Back in the 70s,
Mm-hmm.
they stopped doing it.
Yes.
Because America
Doing it because started coming to it, you know? At first it
Yeah.
was coal and oil and the legacy stuff that didn't want nuclear to take over, and then it became, oh, but big green.
I mean, maybe laugh like Schallenberger was on Joe Rogan's podcast a couple of months ago. He made a good point. Other emissions dropped quite drastically in the 2000s because of the expansion of fracking.
Yeah. We don't want to do
Quite
that.
literally, fracking. They
Yeah.
want my country doing it.
Oh, I
Despite
know.
the fact a lot of the health and safety and my country could be fully natural gas enough to rely on anything from Russia.
Have always gone off on fracking hardcore, and I mean, like, it's just what they don't want, you know, any oil or natural, because again they want this 12. It's not actually our internet connections, it's Discord.
Like, honestly, I got full green bars at 17
Sorry.
minutes, which is good.
Let's try to move again a different region because we're cutting out again.
Just racism. Blame the racism.
I don't know where we got best connection on.
You know. Let's try some.
For shits and giggles, we are now in South Africa. How do you feel, Spoon? Do you feel at home?
No, because I'm safe.
Sorry, guys.
It's cutting out already. That sounds about right.
Huh?
It's cutting out already. That sounds like South African.
It's cutting out for you, Spoon.
Yep.
All right, hang
God
on.
damn it. Fuck.
All right, we're in Russia now, since we're talking about it.
I would love if it never cut out at all.
Huh?
I would love if it cut never at all. Now it's already cutting out.
Yeah.
Fuck's sake, damn it, Kate.
It's just Discord is shit.
It's just today. I don't know why it's being like this.
Okay. Okay.
Let's see if mine's better. Anywho, I guess we've been interrupted. Can you hear me? All right, guys. Cutting out at all? Spoon?
Hopefully.
No, you're still cutting out.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, man.
All right.
Cut the stupid stream. It's actually giving me a headache.
But like, do we have to like hardcore like alt F4 freaking Discord?
Or just cut
I don't.
stream.
No, it's just Discord servers are probably fucked or something. I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe they're getting a raid on or some shit. I don't know.
Probably or something. I don't know. Jeez. I don't know. We'll try for a little bit longer. I don't know what else I can do, guys. Like, that we can do. So,
shall we do the AOC Hill article?
Yeah, I wanted to just finish this little bit about why the ruble recovered, and then we'll get into that. As long as you can hear me. It's not Guernsey's Discord. It's Discord itself, because Spoon's hosting it. It's all through Discord. So this is none of our internets are the problem. It's Discord
or YouTube.
No. I think it's Discord. It might be YouTube too. Maybe both.
And I mean, we haven't got any Fs in the chat yet.
But well, not for a minute. Anywho, sorry this is so frustrating, guys. It's frustrating for us as well. Commodity prices are currently sky high, and even exports due to the embargoes and sanctioning. The increase in commodity prices more than compensates. Tatiana Orlova, lead economics, told CBS and nearly $20 billion a month from energy exports. Since the end of March, many foreign buyers have complied with the demand to pay for energy in rubles, pushing up the currency's value. So that's why the currency.
Yeah, because they're being forced to use a currency that not many countries have access to.
Precise. At the same time, Western sanctions and a wave of businesses leaving the country have led to a drop in imports in the first 4 months of the year. We're in the 8th month now. Russia's account surplus, the difference between exports and imports, rose to a record 96 billion. We had this. Exports are soaring. Yeah, that was. Get through that. It was supposed to be in this segment. We didn't even get through the. Reagan, do you want to just do the? Do you want to do this one?
What am I doing?
I'm asking what article you'd rather read. The Hill article we were reading before. This is why Biden is Reagan.
I'm curious about the so-called overreach. That's what I'm curious about.
Sure, it seems pretty likely that the G both the House and Senate in November.
Oh, so they are.
I mean,
it seems pretty likely. No shit.
But they just said, what I'm laughing about is because early in this, Biden's looking all right. But you have to admit that one, do you? That was the best thing that ever happened to Bill Clinton in the 94 election. House Speaker Biden is that the GOP taking over again is good for Biden.
Okay.
The GOP taking back over, he gets reelected.
How?
Because to Bill Clinton, House Speaker Newt Gingrich proved to be immediately away from the thoroughly also able to get America's economic house in order by insisting on a balanced budget. Do you see what his argument is here?
So basically, you're admitting that the Republicans are the ones that make the economy function.
Yes.
Well done, you absolute moron.
So the Republicans fixed it, and then Bill Clinton won because he just claimed credit for it. I could see that happening.
So wait. Okay, forgive me for the conspiracy theory thought here. Is the Hill acting like a double agent?
No, they're just morons.
I don't know. He's just an idiot. Because
that article sounds like a trolling point.
It sounds like a troll point.
To make the.
I don't. It sounds like. This is what it is. Is that what John is saying here is that don't vote Republican in the midterms, because if you get better, and if it gets better, then Joe Biden will. What kind of level of 3D underwater chess do you think you're playing? I mean, that's bruh. Republicans can run a flawed candidate. Bob Dole, the 96 nominee, was a great presidential candidate. In 2012, conservatives simply didn't believe that former Mass Gov enough conservative because he wasn't. He's not a conservative, actually, I would say. Mitt Romney? Nah.
Next.
No, the Rhino.
In 84, former President Walter Mondale, if you don't know about Mondale, the biggest loss ever, the most catastrophic loss, promised the American people that he would raise their taxes. A dubious promise that fell flat with the tax being devastating loss ever. Kerry was easy to portray as an out-of-touch elitist in 2004, because he was. Should Trump decide to run again, he could definitely inspire his political base, but at what cost to the rest of the party? And what Republican can possibly run, beat Trump in the primary, and get Trump voters to jump on his bandwagon?
None.
What does this have to do with anything? What does this have to do?
I mean,
they're right.
They're straight up admitting that Donald Trump's better than the entirety of the GOP.
Yes.
Yeah, because he is.
They just want someone else to run. Guys, there is nothing I can do about the cutting out. I'm really, really sorry. It's Discord. Unless we switch to another
I mean, I'm the only person. If we try to spoon as host, I don't personally want to host it as I'm on wireless.
Well, it's not us. It's just Discord.
Yeah,
I can try going to
trust me. It makes me want to kill people.
I'm really. Trust me, it's not fun to deal with. But there's, at this point in the stream, like we'd have to totally redo the stream and figure out what the hell else to do.
And let's be frank, Spoon does not want to do that.
No, he will get very angry.
Exactly.
A third-party platform is robust. Third parties are usually bad for incumbents, but they are especially bad for the Republican Party.
Oh, those were the days.
Oh,
I know.
Jesus Christ. I haven't used TeamSpeak since like 2013. Well, before that, it was Skype.
Yeah, well, I mean, I could call you all through Skype, but then again, do you want to do that real quick?
Skype's been dead ever since Microsoft brought it out and merged it with MSN Messenger.
I do have Skype, don't
I?
I?
Those are some memories. MSN Messenger.
I think I had to call you one time before when we had a problem with Discord.
I mean, God, I miss old MSN Messenger. It was great. I had all my
Spoon, I could call you through Skype and add you in, because if you've got a Skype, but I don't know how much better.
I do, but like, last time I had a call on there was like 5 years ago.
You can't do a screen share, though.
Right. So...
Exactly, which is impossible. If you have Skype Premium, so screw that.
Yeah, but I get through it, and then...
Try Gilded, yeah. I probably should get on Gilded.
I guess Google Hangouts, do they even still exist?
Yeah,
Zoom call.
Jesus.
I have a Zoom thing, but then we can't do any of the background stuff. This whole thing is set up through OBS to... Well, I guess we could.
I mean, do you really want to try Restream? Do you want to try Restream?
Do I have to do this now? Like, you're making me do things, and I don't want to do things.
Dan, Telegram won't work.
I can't believe it. It's just, gee, I sure love it when because again, we streamed last night, absolutely fine, no problem. I had no issue streaming through Discord just last night, and it's now all of a sudden a fucking issue. Look, we're just gonna keep going. I don't know what else to do, honestly, unless you just want to end the stream. I don't know. I'd rather not, but it depends.
Ask the chat.
Chat, what would you rather us do? You want us to keep going with it cutting out, or I don't know.
Okay, apparently Dan's saying we sound great now.
Yeah, it'll probably last for about 5 minutes or whatever, but we'll see. We'll see. Okay. Look, again, this just saying it just makes you want to shut it off when it's so fucky like this. And again,
well, apparently let's just go on for let's try another 5 minutes. If it's starving issues,
all right.
Then...
We'll see what we can do, guys. Trust me, I know you guys are frustrated. I'm also frustrated. It's
okay. Yeah, apparently,
all right.
Yeah, everyone's saying keep going. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Okay. Well, he took the lion's share of votes away from George H.W. Bush. In 1980, John Rep. Anderson's efforts to run a third-party campaign nothing more than an annoyance, but at the same time, the media played it up as a real ran under the Reform Party banner in 2000, he almost tipped the scales to Vice President Gore. A new third party is being formed as we speak by disaffected former Republican office holders. Could it be a real factor in 2024?
No, it isn't.
It's hard to say. No, it's not a real factor.
Where the hell do you see a third party being formed? By who?
they're
Oh, yeah,
saying
yeah,
that
let's ignore-
Trump would split off from the
No, he won't. He'll take it over. It's more fun that way.
Exactly.
True.
No, the neocons can. No, the neocons and fake Republicans can.
They're getting killed.
They can kind of fuck up. Yeah. So, what's that? Democrats don't have anybody serious to challenge Biden.
That's, I mean, but the thing that's horrible is that that's true. That's the thing
That
that's
is
so
such a cell
sad.
phone.
Is that it's true. You don't have anybody. Who are you gonna? Again, Pete Buttigieg, Gavin Newsom. I don't think so. Exactly, because these people were possibly win the White House in 2020. Joe Manchin, who is Joe Manchin
Most
is
conservative
from West
Democrat.
Virginia, and he's a Democrat at this point. And I could go through the whole history as to why he runs Democrat in
No,
West
he's a
Virginia, but
Dixiecrat.
Democrat in West Virginia because West Virginians vote for Democrats because of a lot of very long and again difficult to explain.
I thought they
historical
voted.
reasons. They voted red. No, they voted red for Trump, but in the state, it's a long and storied history as to why otherwise Republican people vote for Democrats in West Virginia. But
So what you're saying is that Dixiecrats.
yeah, essentially. So AOC is the
yes.
Democrats' best shot 2024. Thank you, Michael Starr Hopkins. He's got another hot take.
Now, for anyone who's curious, AOC would on age if she did win.
Yes, I think she would she? Yeah, maybe. I think so.
You know,
Yeah,
I
she's
double check. Let
32.
me double check her age. Double check her age again. She's 32 and she was born on the 13th of October 1989. So technically, if she's 5.
Yeah.
Now here's my question: is it
Unlikely
when you
though?
run, when you run, do you have to be 35 or over, or is it you have to be 35 or over if you took office?
That's
The
a
latter.
good question.
It's
I
when
think
you,
it's when you take
when you
office.
take office, not when you run.
All right.
Okay, so AOC just barely qualifies.
Yeah.
No, Aiden, you technically might qualify. Date of birth, of
Not
course.
in the. Oh my god.
Oh my god, Newsom and AOC. Oh my. Dude, that's really
that
bad.
would
Oh
be
yeah. Oh,
such a
that's a
funny combo.
winning. That is a winning. On you.
Oh,
Oh,
but
They
I'll
will
be honest, I'll be honest.
he is their best shot. Newsom.
Is he
which
really
is-
though?
Yeah.
Yeah, which is really, really.
I mean, the
bad.
guy is quite literally being ripped apart in his own state. So
I mean, he did technically avoid being recalled, but not by a.
Yeah, he
Fair.
was emboldened by a lot of stupid people. Trump McMahon in 2024.
that's true, but then
oh
again,
my
it's California,
god!
yeah.
I was Vince McMahon as a VP would be fucking funny.
Man, that would.
Oh my god, that'd be
Bro, that
hilarious.
would-
No. Screw Vince McMahon. Imagine Stone Cold with Donald Trump.
No.
Every time.
No, if he was gonna pick a president, a wrestler that has chops, I would think Glenn Jacobs.
What chops? Sorry, say it one more time. God damn it.
That has chops that could run would be Glenn Jacobs.
Oh yes,
I don't
yes,
know.
perfect. Kane, the
Yes.
guy who played Kane.
Oh,
Kane
Yes.
with
people
Donald
from-
Trump. Yes, brilliant. Yes, brilliant.
He's
He
also
can chokeslam every
no, but
Yes,
he's also the governor of wait
state. What's it called?
no,
Okay,
it's in
I'll Google it.
Kentucky.
Yes,
He's
it
a
is.
mayor
It
of
is.
Knoxville in
Sure.
Kentucky.
Yes, he is.
Yes. So
I was
he,
gonna say, I'm pretty sure he's not a governor because
yeah, no,
I
governor.
don't know. this.
No.
Yeah, Bucks County.
Rand Paul, I would also pick as someone good.
Yeah, actually, no.
I pick
Think
Rand.
about
Yeah.
Trump and Glenn Jacobs would be perfect because Glenn Jacobs can chokeslam every member of the Fed off the rooftops.
Yeah, he's like a hardcore Austrian economist, Glenn Jacobs. So I feel like
Yeah,
he would
Video,
be.
Glenn Jacobs.
He's also huge.
Yeah. 7 foot
He's
tall,
like 6'8".
325 pounds.
Yeah, it's a big guy. He's a big boy.
7 foot.
Who was what was Jesse Ventura? What was his political?
He was governor, wasn't he?
He was governor.
He was
No,
governor.
Yeah, he was.
Who was that party he ran in the 90s that Donald Trump backed?
Hmm. I could swear he was going.
Yeah, he's 2.13 meters, which I'm pretty certain is 7 foot. Let me double check that. Or he's
Jesus, Jesse
6'11".
Ventura?
No, Glenn Jake.
I mean, Ventura. I don't really know who Glenn Jacobs is. I'm guessing he's another wrestler.
Glenn Jacobs is Kane. Remember the guy I said to you, who's
I know.
the Austrian economist guy? That's him.
Yeah. He's the guy who quite literally,
Governor of Minnesota, yeah.
He doesn't like. Yeah, he's the guy
Ventura
who did the
ran
video,
independent?
him in the 90s. I remember he talked about going back into office again. He said Donald Trump.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, but yeah, honestly, that would be funny as fuck. Glenn Jacobs choke slamming the federal government straight to pit. Just imagine that, choke slamming them off the roof of the Federal Reserve. Just imagine that, ladies and gentlemen.
That's great.
I like him to do it to Biden. I don't think he'd get up again.
We'd love to see it. No, that would be the end of it.
Well, I mean, he did choke slam Linda McMahon, so.
Oh my God, Alex Jones for press secretary. Oh my God, yes. Oh, that would be the funniest thing.
Trump to do it so bad, and it was like Trump wasn't anywhere near that based, but that would, dude, if Trump.
Wait, what if Jesse Ventura is Secretary of Defense because he is a Navy SEAL? He's a former Navy SEAL.
None of this cool stuff will happen, guys. That's the unfortunate.
Joker Wilcox would be a
dream,
good one for that.
We can have fun. We can have fun and dream.
It's alright. I mean, we
get that. Who's that Navy SEAL?
Joe Willock.
What's his name?
Willock.
Yeah, Willock. Yeah, he'd be a good shout.
Oh my goodness! You know who I'd like to be head of the ATF?
Oh, let's hear it.
Ted Nugent.
Ooh,
he'd be a good leader of the ATF, I think. He's like massively pro-gun. Like, yeah.
I don't like that. Yeah, I was just saying.
Why?
Okay. I don't know.
Is he like Nick Cage's character from that film? I can't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah. I don't.
Why not have him as head of the ATF? That's pretty good.
Okay, who else?
Oh, okay, this guy.
Secretary of the Treasury.
He's a hardcore Austrian.
Tucker Carlson would be an interesting choice for press secretary.
Tucker would be good.
Yeah.
AJ would be the best. AJ would be hilarious.
I'm trying to think who. The press secretary, that's the one who has to deal with all the press, right? Like
yes.
That like Ginger Snap or whatever her name was. I forget. What's her name and what's the new one's name?
I would actually like to see Trump himself be the press secretary. It would be really funny.
That would be quite funny. But what about Matt Gaetz? What about Matt Gaetz as press secretary?
Matt Gaetz?
Yeah, Matt Gaetz.
Yeah, he would be a fine press secretary.
Yeah, so, okay, so we got that. Any other positions we need to fill?
Secretary of the Treasury?
What are the...
I would say Glenn Jacobs should hold that since he's hardcore Austrian.
Rand Paul.
Yeah,
Rand Paul should be VP if not higher. Yeah, so I don't know.
Ron Paul for the Fed.
Yeah,
my God, no, Ron Paul with the
Fed. Yes. Let's put Ron Paul in charge of the Fed. I think I know what he'd do with it.
Yeah, Ron Paul would order the Fed. He'd fucking take a hammer to the Fed.
Oh, it'd be amazing.
That'd be great. He'll take a freaking
Michael Malice for press secretary. Oh God, he would hate the press.
Oh my God, this is totally unrelated.
You need someone who hates the press.
I was saying about Michael
Joe
Malice.
Rogan for second.
Alex Jones, I think, would be the best press secretary. Yeah, honestly.
Joe Rogan, Secretary of Conspiracy Weed, and Joe Rogan is Secretary.
Is it Chael Sonnen? Did I say his name, Arden? For Attorney General. No more pedo problem.
Oh,
I'm guessing. That'd be a good shout. That's a good shout. I mean, that's a good shout. I mean, he might be like 5'3", but he's in great shape despite being in his 50s.
I don't know who would be a good attorney general. He's like a staunch constitutionalist.
Yeah.
Ted Cruz would actually, I think, would be good.
Ted Cruz.
Actually, who's the head of the Constitutionalist Party?
They don't have a lot of support.
You're of the Constitutionalist Party because
I know.
Good show.
Are they still even active?
Or she. No, they were active in the 2016 election. I think they were around in the 2020 election. I might be wrong, though.
Oh, the Constitutionalist Party has 26 members who've been elected. I don't know if they have a leader.
Okay,
Let's see,
who is Bob Lazar?
Bob Lazar? That sounds really familiar, but I have to remember who he is. A conspiracy theorist? Not for saying.
So, okay.
I don't know about this guy.
That's a good reason. That's a fair shout.
That name sounded familiar, but I wasn't sure who he was.
What else would be funny?
Head of the CIA. Oh God.
Bruh. Oh no.
I don't know enough about.
Actually, guys.
Julian Assange.
Yeah, there you go.
No.
That would be amazing. Yeah.
That would be funny as hell.
That'd be
Right,
hilarious.
what about this, guys?
No, Ben Shapiro is
Donald
too
Trump
hawkish for
set up-
Secretary of State.
Yeah.
And a two Jewish guy who sounds like he's got a major sinus problem.
Here's the thing. Think about it logically, all right?
It's a pretty good impression, actually.
See here, there's a reason why we're in this mess, and it's purely because due to Democrats.
Well, I mean, honestly, can you say that he's wrong? Here's the thing. What you don't understand right now about Ben Shapiro is that, yes, he may talk have a little wrong. He's wrong. But have you heard his cover of Wet Ass Pussy? You can't prove that now wrong. You can't prove that wrong now, can you? That's facts and logic.
Oh, he would be a good press secretary.
The doctor?
That's a good
It would.
Ben Shapiro would be a fun press secretary.
Not as fun as Alex Jones, but yeah.
Yeah.
Alex Jones.
Yeah, Pompeo, I'm not a fan of.
We actually do have some news about Alex Jones
Gates would be funny. I think Matt Gates would be
hilarious.
great because he'll just deliberately offend. All they'll say is, "Oh, that's offensive." He'll be like, "And."
Yeah, we do
know,
have some news about Alex Jones today. Because if you didn't know, Alex.
He's in court, wasn't he?
Oh yeah, I saw someone stream that. Yeah. Was it over
He's in
Gen
court
6 or
today.
was it over something else?
It's
I was
over.
literally about to say I would like to see Jim for press secretary.
That would be amazing.
Wait, who is this Jim?
Mr. Medico.
Oh,
that would be
because he's got cancer, so they
fantastic.
can't say anything bad about him. So he's got that leg up on him.
I think they don't care. Again, you have to understand that the way that all that shit works is that it's fine when the left does it.
Wait, question.
You can say anything.
Can non-Americans hold secretary positions in the U.S. government?
I don't think they can.
I don't.
Yeah, because someone said Jordan Peterson, but like he's Canadian, so I don't think he can.
Yeah, I don't actually know. I would imagine no, but I'm actually not sure. I would. In terms of
you can for Congress, you can
Abby Shapiro's Secretary of Health. That's hilarious.
Maybe you can. Abby Shapiro, no, just Secretary of Booba.
Maybe Abby Shapiro's Secretary of Feminism would be quite funny.
Perfect. Speaking of both Secretary of Booba and Secretary of Feminism, we should probably get back to AOC as the Democrats' best shot against Trump in 2024. This hilarious.
I found it very difficult to do this video without calling her stupid repeatedly because, like, that's the main thing about her is that she's just dumb. She just doesn't know anything. Yeah, she's just a stupid airheaded bimbo. There's nothing appealing about her.
But look
you know what
at
makes
this
me laugh about her?
Oh my god! Yeah.
You know what makes me laugh about her? Like, she only won with 7% of potential voters.
And she's
in
in
the total voting electorate. She won with 7%.
And she's in a D plus, I don't know, 90 district. So like, she was gonna win no matter what.
The person who she ran against was like main favorite and like being it.
Oh yeah.
Like, cause I think she got like, what was it like?
But she did social media stuff, and she's young, and
she's like
she's not South African, can you get the fuck out?
The total vote, she only got like 7%. So it was such like a minority vote that some would argue it shouldn't even have counted because of how little the turnout was.
It's
like when 87% of your voters don't even turn up to vote.
That's because why? Again, when you get into these extremely segregated districts, and by that I mean like that they know that a Democrat's going to win. Nobody goes out and vote because they don't care. They know that their side, quote unquote, that their party is going to win, so they just don't go out to vote. which is why she won. People show up to vote because they're like, well, whatever, who cares? A Democrat will win either way. And speaking of which, here's how the Hill describes her. Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez is less of a personality. Oh, I'm streaming it still.
Yeah, but I prefer...
Just share
Give me the thing. No.
Thing.
Give link.
You know the thing.
You know the thing. Wait, what link?
No, forget it. Never mind, you terrible person.
What? Spoon, it's all... It's...
Just you silence, wench.
How rude.
Yeah, your scoffing
so
doesn't work on me.
I know, right? Here we go.
You make fun of me all the time, screw you.
Oh, you make fun of... AOC is less of a personality and more of a movement. Certainly a bowel movement. Yes, the smart, photogenic. Do you really want to use the word photogenic to describe her when now she's been caught twice faking shit? Faking photo shoots?
I mean, this is a woman who has a lot of her famous pictures have her with either bug eyes or a horse mouth.
Yeah, it's
she was literally photographed at the border crying when she wasn't. She was just in front of a big dirt field.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, again, that's all.
I'm not salty. How dare you?
Rising.
Fuck you.
He's the face of the rising progressive movement. She's also the
What was that?
future. She is the future of the Democratic Party. AOC has cultivated a following beyond politics. She's an influencer, and her ability to relate to her supporters and allow them a glimpse into her private life is a blueprint for Democrats trying to act less like mannequins and more like human beings.
She's an actress. That's rather funny.
Miss,
for
I
like
don't know
human
what
being?
a garbage disposal is.
Miss pretended to be handcuffed for a photo
Yeah,
op?
Miss, why can't we grow? Oh, because of the Cincoism, you fucking retard.
Yes, because you literally...
Miss, I blatantly contradicted myself about Jan 6.
No, but it was real in her mind. It was indelible. Real in her mind,
and in my mind,
I saw you word when she's a great phrase.
multi-time Formula 1 world champion.
Right. So it's real because you were, that's how you feel. She is the voice, just like she felt like that there were people who were right-wing extremists who were trying to break down her door. Now, of course, they were Capitol Police who were knocking and asking if she was okay. But in her,
like, she lies. She's like a serial compulsive liar.
Yeah, I think she actually is a it would be unethical.
I mean, I hate to pull the sexism card, but what woman isn't a compulsive liar?
Marjorie Taylor Greene seems okay.
True. Yeah, they like. Okay, you can't put all that evil on all.
I'll
of
reserve
us.
judgment on that.
There's a lot of evil in a lot of women. Women are rewarded for lying.
Autism, Ocasio-Cortez, yeah.
Actually, if she had autism, she'd be way more
That's
probably
pretty good.
tolerable. Autism tends to make
anyone who acts slightly different.
I just don't like her because she's just a ditzy bint.
She's... I can't remember who said it earlier in the chat. I missed it. Said that she's not dumb. It's like she is. I can see why you would think that she fell in that this is all very crafted. Part of it is, but you have to also remember that at this point she has got a team of like 100 people behind her telling her what to do.
Yeah, she's a marionette.
Social media and manage her
persona.
Persona.
Yeah, she's not really. She's not a real person.
I'm sorry if you need that many people.
I don't think it's.
I'm sorry, you're compensating for something.
I mean, just real quick, I was being hyperbolic about the 100, but I would not be shocked if she has a good 10 people who manage just her public, her people.
DP, the way you say bint is a completely different pronunciation bint to pint.
Bint.
Oh, bint and pint are different words.
Exactly. Even though it's ending INT. But hey, it's not my fault that AOC and a...
No. AOC is not. AOC is not cunning. Her fans are just really stupid.
I'd say it's her. AOC herself is a midwit, probably. She is evil. That's true, Art Party.
She's not. No. She's no. No. She's not a mitwit. If you gave her
Okay.
an IQ test, she would struggle to reach 90.
I
That's me
think
being
she's. I
generous.
think.
I
Put it that
legit
way.
think she has a
That makes
sub
her
100
below
IQ.
average.
I do
that-
think as legitimately
no,
IQ,
no.
she would be low IQ.
Plus, you have to understand how standard deviations work. 90 IQ would be normal, right? Which would make her midwit.
No, Aiden, in today's world, 100 is average.
Actually, that's not true. We're actually seeing a decline in IQ. 95 or 90.
Okay, well, I'm just going to sit here with my strong 125.
Aiden.
Sorry.
And I could sit here with my strong 140, but Aiden, here's the thing. We all know the reason for that, but no one wants to address that little detail.
Oh, there's a number of reasons.
Well, because she's not white enough?
There's 2 reasons. No, there's 2 reasons.
No, IQ has been dropped. Effect outside of the Flynn.
Yeah, there's a reason.
IQ is dropping.
There is a reason for that.
Because stupidest people fuck?
Nope. That's migration
not even-
and lowering of education standards.
Oh, yeah. Call that South
Education
Africa.
has almost nothing. Has very very little to do with IQ. I mean, it has something to do with it, but it's
The
actually
main
not
thing
it.
is nutrition.
It's something. No, actually,
That's
that's
part
not.
of it.
That's not correct either. Because
Okay, so Jordan Peterson's just wrong, okay?
we have to get into the. No, okay, okay. The nutrition thing is why. One of the reasons why the IQs in Africa are so low, right? And IQs in third world countries are so low. It's because they lack nutrition, so they lack the capacity to have full brain development. But when we're talking about in a first world country like the United States, you can't say nutrition is not a factor.
Have you
there.
seen how fat Africans are?
Nutrition refers to not how fat they are, but how much nutrients and how much like things that are actually conducive to brain development that occur at particularly a young age, because that's when the brain is still going to be most affected by
Okay,
it.
well, this is where you and I are just going to
It's
heavily disagree because you're full of shit.
Except what your brain's done developing. Now, I mean, it's in the 20s, but the major portions of the brain fairly early age, mostly in utero.
I need that clip of Dr. Cox just going, wrong, 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 wrong.
I'm not wrong about this. It's
No, the African thing.
why we're seeing IQ decline in the West now when we can't point to a nutritional problem.
It's mass
I
migration.
blame foreigners, yeah.
It's quite literally.
Yeah, you're
don't think
importing
so.
the third world.
Aiden,
No, I don't think so.
Aiden, the West is literally importing the third world, and the average IQ of the third
Oh, I know
world
that.
is.
Yes, look, that is certainly part of it, but I think it's actually more complicated than that. I think the fact that people are now, we know the vast majority of research on IQ. I was not expecting to have to be forced to talk about this tonight, but is that IQ is somewhere between 70 and 80% genetic and about 20% environmental. That 20% environmental can actually be a big deal. And I'm not talking about environmental in terms of nutrition at this point, or 20 to 30% environmental. If kids are put in front of a screen from the time that they're born and they're not encouraged to ever think for themselves, I think that could also be a reason why we're seeing the decline in IQ. Now, I think I said before, there was a study that came out recently that the pandemic have a 30-point IQ deficit. That's a real thing. 30 points. That means the average IQ of children born under the pandemic is 70. That's just above mental retardation, you know?
Whoa. Medical retardation. Remember, that's for white people.
Right.
Talk about non-white in that
Oh,
aspect.
no. Can't include that.
No, because technically speaking, just over half of Black Americans would be classified as functionally retarded.
It's not. No. It's nowhere near that severe. However, in some African countries, the average IQ is. I don't know which one at the top of my head, but it's 50, it's 40.
60?
It's, yeah,
West Coast.
It's really low.
Oh well, you know what's really funny? Is it Kolo the gorilla? They estimate her to have an IQ.
That was all
around
fake.
90.
You know that, right? That whole thing was fake.
Oh well, I mean, what's his face? The most intelligent man in the world made an argument that Britain should not be importing Kolo the gorilla because of IQ.
Coco the gorilla was fake. The amount of capacity that Coco the gorilla had to sign was learned responses to stimuli. Coco couldn't really understand and speak the way that it was presented in the media. So just to be clear about that.
No, I'm just saying he was just going off the data in question, which was quite funny. 190.
Yeah, gotcha.
But, very tweet. Vote Doom. Doom is the best. Yes.
So Patricia's is the almost assuredly, yes, almost assuredly that's an
another
attrition.
thing. Later, again, it's a Discord issue. If you weren't here, this issue with Discord.
No more explaining it. You can't fix it.
Anyway, as I was saying, yeah. Well, another is that they took an IQ of a farmer. It turned out he had like a 12-point higher IQ after he was done with the harvest than he did prior to the harvest.
I mean, that would no.
I mean,
You had a non replicable retest reliability on that.
Yeah, this was a Dutch historian, UBI. He tried to make the argument having money made you more and increased your IQ points, which was bullshit because
this makes no sense. This makes no sense in the entire history.
I'm not joking.
All of
I will.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure it exists. I'm sure it exists.
Hang on, let me find.
What? All that.
Oh, that's it. Bergman.
If he found this, I'd have to look at his data because that's antithetical to every single study that has ever been conducted in the analysis of IQ.
No.
I don't care if it's waste or Westlaw.
This is quite literally in reference to his TED talk here about poverty. He makes an argument in favor of UBI, and the guy uses the point about what he harvests and he makes his money and his IQ increases. I'm like, no, you idiot! It's because he had to engage his mind into a task which increases his IQ. It's been well known when people who play instruments. When you play an instrument relentlessly, your IQ actually increases.
It's not because he had. Is he saying that it's because he had more food or he had more money?
No, it's because he did the task at the harvest and claimed he got the money from the harvest that his IQ went up when he did the test.
Because he figured out that if he did the harvest in this way, that he would have a benefit from it and it allowed his problem-solving skills to increase. But even so, G is a constant.
Yeah, and also, again, which goes back to my point, it's the use of the mind and engagement of the mind that increases the IQ temporarily.
You might see temporary increases, but it's going to be. I mean, I have to watch this TED talk, but I would imagine that the increase in IQ points was 5.
Moronic.
It's 5. Was it 5 IQ points? Was it 5? My guess would be
he said 12. I'm pretty certain he said 12, but I might be misremembering.
That's significant, but I'd have to look into this. I'd look in the entire.
I do apologize.
Your IQ. By the way, here's the thing. Also, your IQ fluctuates over your entire life. It's not always static. Anywho, yes, we are being sidetracked.
Of course. We do know as your brain naturally deteriorates, anything that's not crystallized knowledge, you'll naturally forget.
Also, if you're using your brain more, your IQ can go up. If you're thinking more about what do I have to do to,
very funny, Ardent. Very funny.
There's a certain level that we're restricted to in terms of our upper echelon or uppermost limit, but other than that, IQ is a little bit variable.
for sure. But it's like if you look at any child protege, any child protege where they're literally just thrown into the wind, thrown into the deep end of knowledge. It's very rare that child comes out with a sub 120 IQ, at 140 plus, because they're constantly having their mind put to the test relentlessly. It's like for instance, I'm pretty certain the most common job that someone of the genius level IQ is a chess player.
Normally, I mean, speaking of chess grandmasters, I wanted to ask you this because Bill pointed this out to me. Not actually you, because but Spoon. Bill pointed out to me that Curtis Yarvin, when he's talking and doing speeches, sounds a hell of a lot, very, very similar in his cadence to Sam Hyde.
No.
And
I wonder if that's
he
deliberate.
showed it to me, and I have to say, I think it's true. If we listen to, hang on, let's do this
Could
experiment
you
real
link
quick.
me that?
I'm gonna do it right now. No, it's not a video that exists. I'm gonna just do it. Okay, let's do Sam Hyde, paradigm shift 2070, and then we'll do a. I don't believe it's entirely true, but it's kind of interesting. Paradigm shift, and then we'll do Curtis. Yarvin. I don't know what was a good speech. Good speech of it. Oh, right. When you type in Curtis Yarvin, you get like his more recent stuff.
He's a fun person to listen to, though.
Oh, he is fun to listen
But
to.
I will
okay, this
say
is, I think-
you can
yeah.
you can tell who he's around by influences how he speaks. Because when he speaks to Michael Malice, he speaks very
Is what?
differently.
Yeah. Oh no. I have that
A
problem.
lot of
as well.
people are like that, actually. But
Yeah,
a lot of people
it-
are chameleon
it's actually
effect.
it's not the chameleon effect. It's a communication accommodation theory. In fact, it's another word.
Fears over nuclear accident grow as power plant in Ukraine completely out of control. Nah.
Right. Anyway, I just wanted to give an example. I'll put this here on the screen for a minute. I'm listening to Moldbug talk for a minute.
Oh, for God's sake.
This can be. Maybe he was
Wait,
just
wait, 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 wait.
this
Stop the
time.
damn thing. I don't have the thing on screen.
Of course you don't, because you're not paying attention.
I'm trying to get I hate
I
you.
know. So Bill
But
posited
you're like
this.
a married couple.
Bill gave me this. Bill gave me this hypothesis
Don't you ever say
today,
that again.
and I want to see if you two agree.
Beat your ass.
Posited this to me today, so I would like you two and everyone in the chat to decide if
Aiden is wrong.
this is accurate. I don't. You have. I thought as soon as he said it to me, I was like, "No, you're wrong. You're wrong." So let's see. Am I wrong? And what's more, is Bill wrong? Let's see. Let's hear Curtis here just talk for a minute.
Full
This
screen
is
that.
it.
Full screen that.
Okay.
Full screen that.
Oh,
Theater mode, yeah.
is that better?
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
And it appeared in many publications. And let's look at some of the strange details on this.
Why is it
Now,
so
if you start
quiet?
reading this, leader of Free Italy. Okay, what is Free Italy? Who made Carl Sforza leader of Free Italy? To create, according to Carlo Sforza, it's one with an organized world with no more place for the anarchical independence of the nationalistic states. Well, that's very peculiar. He repeats himself over here. Nationally, that the previous complete independence of nations must cease. They must submit to a superior international law.
Okay. Just to be clear about what Bill's point is.
You should really listen to that, by the way.
I was at a college.
I know, I've heard it
a
before.
Second tier, not an
Spoon, you know I've heard it before, but
Ivy League school, a second choice school. And I was in a class.
This was a TED Talk.
And there was a student in the class, okay? And the teacher, he was spouting
oh,
some
you've never seen this?
horrible nonsense about how
No, I haven't.
it was something about how something that everybody knew was false. But if anybody had spoken up, he would have taken extreme joy in failing them. Okay, nobody spoke up. One person raised his voice. One person started talking. The teacher couldn't believe it. The classroom couldn't believe it either. But in the end, he had logic on his side.
No.
He proved his point. That student was Albert Einstein.
No.
Please tell me this is a joke.
Oh, dude, we'll have to watch it later because if you've never seen 2070 Paradigm Shift, but no, I do
Is
see
that a
where
literal
Bill-
TED Talk? Is that
No.
a literal
Yes,
TED
it is.
Talk?
No, and
it is a real TED Talk. It is a real TED Talk. Bill, do you want to come over here and explain yourself?
No.
It speaks for itself.
No, it doesn't, Bill.
This is it speaks for itself.
I mean,
Bill, you
I
have
mean,
good
I-
takes.
I-
This is a terrible take.
I think it's
I
a
mean,
pretty
I think
terrible
that's
take.
a bit
I
of
have
a
to.
reach, but I mean, the way they looked
No,
in the
I
video,
think-
sure.
No, Bill, I'm not.
I think it's because they're both doing a speech, so you're doing a speech cadence.
Okay, the important thing to note here is I'm tone deaf,
Yeah.
so I get it from cadence.
Okay.
You're cadence deaf too.
so you're just cadence. Then it's somewhat similar.
EP, that is a terrible comparison.
Yeah, I agree.
Samurai doesn't sound like a Saxon twat from the 2000s.
Yeah, okay. This is the reason I disagree.
So, Bill, by the way, it seems overwhelmingly the chat also agrees that you are incorrect.
No, so as I'm king, let's see, that's a bit of a reach, so objection.
Here's the thing. I have watched multiple videos of Mulbach talk, and to use one example is not accurate.
Well, this is the thing, problem, Bill. Yeah, Spoon and I have watched many videos for sure of him talking. So
almost like a connoisseur of Mulbach at this point.
Yeah, connoisseurs of the
of the Mulbach variety. Yes.
So here's the thing. To you on a vote, do.
No, I don't think that's
something you didn't like democracy. No, I thought you...
we're all monarchists until it comes to a question. How someone sounds. Suddenly we're a democracy.
Oh, sorry, Bill. I'm not sure if you can hear me, but as king, I've ruled that is a massive reach.
Headphones on, so it's just Bill talking and then you talking back into the void at each other.
I would say, Aiden, could you please tell your wonderful husband that as king, I say his claim is a massive reach and therefore objection.
Okay, it's a massive reach, Bill.
And also as king, I reject it, so therefore monarchy rules.
Alright, chat. Well, there slash Manchester Mulbach and somehow Hyde sound alike. There you go. No, that's all bunch of dumb shit. We should move back in. We have so much stuff we haven't gotten into. We're actually not. We're getting a little late. Here we go. Don't do that. That's social contagion. Stop doing that. I know you did it on purpose because you know that it affects me.
I can't help it by yours,
dude. No,
what did you just call me?
A rude dude.
Fuck you.
I'm lucky that because you're.
What are you saying, Bill?
You should have kept your opinion secret until after the actual poll in order to not contaminate the sound.
Oh, I should have. Yeah, I should have kept my opinion secret till after the poll. Your opinions. So. Yeah, I brought it up because. Speaking of bringing it up,
that's a good one, DP.
Speaking of what, someone who never brings any of AOC. Began after the banks were bailed out by the government while homeowners were left to default. The simplicity with which she talks about. They can't understand their own owns. The simplicity with which she talks about everyday struggles hints that she's not just a persona for consumption. No, it hints to that
she is not working class. She is privileged as they come, and she didn't grow up in the Bronx. That's already been debunked. And quite frankly, let's ignore the fact it was people like her who did bail out the banks. So, can you shut up?
She hangs out with people wearing, like, she went to a 30,000 grand gala with a dress that said, tax the rich on her ass. Like, what working class person does that?
It was full of, it was like $20,000 or $30,000 and you had to pay the ball in question.
Yeah.
It's full of quite a few of them who've been accused or arrested
to
for
the arts.
That's
what that was her explanation. Was it her explanation? Was it's
which arts?
No,
the arts of being a hypocritical grade A. See you next Thursday.
Ridiculous. Bernie Sanders is the Godfather. If Bernie Sanders is the Godfather, Ocasio-Cortez is Michael Corleone. As an architect, Michael Corleone.
Wait.
Corleone.
Wait.
I'm sorry.
Corleone.
Wait. Oh, right. Okay. I just read it. Yeah, sorry. No.
As the architect of Medicare for All, a $15 minimum wage, and numerous other extreme, not
which
really.
were all terrible, by
Bernie's
the way.
a place in history. already been solidified. While Sanders may disagree with some of the progressives in his caucus, his worth carries more weight. Bernie passing the torch to AOC and recruiting her to run for president would be bold and would strengthen and solidify her base of supporters before she even gets. And how did it work out for Bernie, by the way? No, by the way, let's be clear. He was. The nomination was stolen from him because the Dems knew he couldn't win, but it was still stolen from him nonetheless.
Again. Sorry, speaking as a man who comes from. That model is terrible, and there's a reason
It
why
sure
it's not.
is.
And also,
It sure is.
I'm sorry.
How did it work out for Bernie? He's got 3 houses.
Terrible freaking idea. How about we the most capitalist, highest living standard countries don't have minimum wages?
I mean, I hate. Okay, here's my thing. I've lived in the U.S. I've lived in the UK. And about the medical system, is that in the U.S., when I had a problem, it was dealt with. I was able to see a doctor. Not in the UK. If you're in the hospital, be lucky if you can see a doctor for about 5 minutes once a month. Okay? That's what the socialized medicine pays for. And I was not a UK citizen, so guess what? I have to pay for all that shit out of my fucking pocket. So I owe the fucking NHS. I owe the NHS something like $50,000. You know that? Or 30,000, something like that.
Considering the fact they don't normally charge foreigners because of racism and all
I know,
the healthcare
right.
tourism that happens in my country.
I know, right?
I mean, that I do find pretty funny, but I mean, quite literally,
well, I paid off like 20,000 of it. So I think I'm in like $30,000 worth of debt in the healthcare system.
I mean, to be fair, Aiden, about that much already in NHS terms, and I haven't got my money's worth. So we could call it even between us.
Yeah, let's call it. Let's fine. Let's call it even. But the reality is that, like, I didn't get paid about 20,000 off already. I took about $30,000 in debt, and what was it? Oh, service. If I really, you'd have to get a couple drinks of me, and I could tell you what happened to me when I was in the care of the wonderful NHS.
Well, I mean, I could rant about why it's terrible, and I hate the fact that it's a.
Yes.
You cannot unemployed.
Oh yeah, and guess again, I got to see a doctor. I was in the hospital for 4 months, 3.5. I got to see a doctor for 5 minutes once a month. Other than that, I was in the hands of the nurses. Now, that's a real crapshoot, because some of the nurses, I would say the Polish. First of all, none of them were from Guernsey whatsoever. Not a single one. It was a big, Likert type variation of where they. The ones from Ireland, the Irish woman was very nice. The one from Poland was very nice. She was an older lady. The ones from Africa, I would literally see beat the across from me and laugh while they did it.
Oh yeah, yep. But we don't want to talk about that little detail.
No, because they don't give a shit. Because they get paid no matter what. Yeah, well, why? Who cares? Your tax dollars at work.
Yeah. Free. Like, I'd stay to any freaking lefty yank in the United States. If universal healthcare is so freaking good as you do it, come to my country.
I would
with the
highly
NHS
recommend.
For 5 years.
Yeah.
And then tell me how good it is.
Exactly.
I hope you don't have cancer. Mm-hmm. I hope you don't have cancer.
Oh, I sure don't. Because you're not going to get in to see a doctor for years. Mm-hmm.
And then Kyle Kalinske made an absolute retard argument about this. Per capita rate, you are almost twice as likely to die, and if you're diagnosed with cancer than you are in the United States.
Look, I gotta be clear. I do not want to support the extremely predatory and disgusting United States healthcare system. It's all propped up. I mean, like, look, I'm not going to defend the United States healthcare system.
So much of it is freaking. So much of it, like,
it goes to medical. Yes, it goes to medical companies. So much of it is paid for by the government anyway. It's not a good system, but at the same time, you see these posts every day from people who are in Canada or in the UK, and they're like, "Hello, I was diagnosed with cancer 5 years ago, and I'm not able to get any fucking treatment." So, like, because I'm on a wait list that's a mile long, and
You know what's
know?
funny, Aiden? I know of 2 Canadian YouTubers who had to go to the United States. One of
bunch of them want to
cancer
go to the
treatment.
US. Yeah, a whole bunch of them. You
Okay,
can find this everywhere.
one of them, Aiden, I'm not joking you, was living in Japan for 15 odd years. She ended up
Huh?
having to fly to Florida to get surgery on her thyroid.
That's what it's gonna take. That's what it's gonna take, man. Like, you're.
Yeah, she couldn't get in Japan because ultimately the Japanese health service was giving her shit because she didn't know about it. And I mean, how the hell are you supposed to know? For start.
Well, I'm
They were
just
being
saying,
turned to her.
be very careful about social. Some of them work better than
Look.
others. They seem to work at the best in the Nordic countries, but
If you want
there's
a good
big
example of a
No, my only point is that they seem to work pretty well in the Nordic countries, but that's because the Nordic countries are far more homogenous, and they tend to.
Well, here's
You
the
think
thing.
so?
If you look at like, I do
I'd
know
say it's
the
also
Dutch model.
Janteloven. Yeah.
I do know the Dutch model, and for instance, the French model. It's a heavily insurance-based system. Here's the difference: you can choose what type of insurance policy you want, and you can choose which doctors and hospitals you wish to deal with. Fuck it.
Yes, I prefer if it's a
and,
mix. If you can't afford it, then you can't afford it. But if you can, then you should be able to choose.
But here's the thing. Have a basic. But other than that, it's down to yourself. And guess what? Most of those European countries, you are charged for going to a doctor's. You are charged. Like, you need to go see the doctor? Fine, here's 10 or 15 euros.
Here's the interesting thing about that,
people
too.
taking the piss.
Here's an interesting thing about that as well, by the way. People who aren't aware. So the government covered a whole, like, basically, like, my medical bills in terms of, well, they didn't. I had to, like, apply for a whole bunch of shit and be able to get out of it. For being in the hospital itself. That part mostly got taken care of. The thing was that the people who want the most money from me, like the $30,000, literally half is the of my entire fee for 4 months of staying in the hospital are the what do you call it? The physical therapists, because it's not covered. So if like you get really sick, okay, well, you go away, but the physical therapy and
this guy's dope.
First of all, I'm not gonna talk shit. I'm not gonna talk shit about the physical therapy group I worked with, because they were amazing. But they met with me twice a week for an hour, and I owed them $30,000. Well, I paid off most of it, but I owed them $30,000 when I got out of the hospital.
I'm just gonna play this because I feel like
meeting with me twice a week for a month and a half, for about an hour, maybe 2 hours.
Yeah, I mean, me for the NHS. The reason why I kind of is what it did to my mother back in 2008. They still haven't apologized for that to this very day.
Of course not. They never will. What happened?
I mean, long story short, she went in to have a hysterectomy, and long story short, they ended up screwing up her bowel, and she ended up catching MRSA.
Oh, it's the worst.
Okay, is this some proper parkour shit right here?
Like this shit.
That's some proper parkour shit. There's some parkour shit right there. Those guys are nutters. And to think something cool as that was invented by the French. Anyway, yeah. So she ended up catching MRSA, he screwed up her bowel, and she was bedbound for 3 months. And the NHS has still not apologized for this, and this was back in 2008.
No, and they never will. They never will in a million years.
Oh, and here's the worst bit is, my family almost got in complete trouble. This basically part-time school life for 3 months because I had to come into school late and take my brother and sister to school. And then I had to leave school early to pick them up for 3 months. And according to the register, I was absent for 3 months.
Oh, cool. Yeah, great.
Yeah. And social services almost came to the house. Until thankfully the head teacher stepped in and said, no, this is the reason. Should have made you ultimately have proof that he's come in and out because you have it on your register. So kindly go screw yourself. Imagine I had to do that freaking 15 years old for Pete's sake. 15 years old.
And like, it's absolutely insane.
They're just absolute grade A. Again, they're absolute grade A twats. I mean,
they again, the problem is that there's so many amazing healthcare workers, but there's also a bunch of cunts. So you gotta Anywho, as much as I'd love to bitch about this, I would like to let's get through this Hill article, and then we'll figure out our last topic for the evening. My
I
last.
laugh at that. AOC has the ability to tell the story of her generation.
Well, would you like to go on with it? Where were we starting? AOC is a
Okay.
superpower. I think we
Wields a
started here.
Yeah, so AOC wields a superpower that is rarely found in Washington. She isn't afraid to lose. You sure about that, mate?
Yeah, I'm not sure about
2018
that
victory
one.
wasn't just
Chief.
historic; it was shocking and felt
Predestined.
Predestined. Much like when
that kind of
first
sounds
saw a
like you're
brilliant
saying
speaker
that
in the
she was set up, but okay.
But I mean, if you actually look into results, it was an
got
absolute
fortified.
joke.
Yeah, I know.
Much like for when she first saw a brilliant speaker with a funny name and big ears, remind us that through hope and change we could put our country on a new course. No, thank you. The course that she would like to put us on is terrible.
She's
AOC has
Barack
the ability
Obama.
to tell the story of her generation. She's Barack Obama if Barack Obama was an actual progressive. I love Obama, but he was a
sure you
moderate
do.
who sounded like a progressive. Oh my god!
This is awful. This again. That's why I wanted to read this article.
Sorry.
It's so bad.
I'm sorry. Barack Obama was such a fucking limp dick man. He is by far the most limp dick president,
but he was black.
Or even just male politician I've seen. He comes off as charismatic. Like, if you actually try to... I mean, don't forget, let's not forget this same guy who, when quizzed on something about his own hypocrisy, he was like, if it turned into a stuttering mess. Everyone knows what that means from. Okay. OC represents the possibilities of opportunities that make our country great. No, she doesn't. Where else could a 25-year-old bartender upset a political heavyweight and become a symbol of her generation? Oh, yeah. About her days as a bartender, apparently she didn't like giving out change because she couldn't do basic maths. So
yeah, she literally can't. Literally can't.
AOC was never supposed to win her race. A few gave her a chance, but a funny thing happened. Voters loved her honesty, youth, and humble beginnings. Well, that's bollocks. She's not honest.
No.
Youth is
the biggest liar
and humble beginnings is a big fat lie. She didn't grow up in the Bronx. That's already been debunked. Oh, you were spreading fake news. You are spreading fake news, by the way. YouTube, Miss Susan Wojcicki, do not accuse us of spreading misinformation. The Hill is spreading misinformation. Okay?
Yes.
So please don't flag us for that.
Yeah, YouTube, could you get mad at the Hill for spreading disinfo about AOC growing up in the Bronx?
Oh, no, wait. Mainstream media gets a free pass, as we know.
Of course.
Let's see here. Voters were sick of career politicians who really come
that
to their
part's
district.
True, but the rest of this is
Joe Crowley, Joe Crowley out and AOC in. That wasn't luck, that was fate. In a Democrat Party that looks more like the Golden Girls spin-off than a reflection of our rich diversity. AOC has become the face of a generation.
It would have been easy for her to walk into Congress and hire nothing but communication staff. It would have been easy for her to sit out and do the cash grab. At least they admit that it's all a cash grab. She could have publicly made Nancy Pelosi and Charles Schumer lives a living hell to show off for her supporters. Why would she do that, though?
Because they're all on the same team.
That's what I mean. Why would she actually do that?
She does do that, though.
Insert Fast and Furious meme about all the cars trying to pull Toretto's car out of the way and instead make themselves look like idiots.
She makes their lives hell only because she's a fucking embarrassment.
Yeah, that's my point.
I mean, she quite literally is the reason why a frying pan around the back of the head is an effective solution.
Instead, she did her homework.
Doubt.
The idea that she did homework.
Chat, press X to doubt. To the chat, press X to doubt.
Yeah, I do you think that AOC has done her homework?
No.
And instead tried to fly under the radar while learning the nuances of Congress and the levers of power that run it.
Please explain to me how she is flying under the radar in any fucking way.
They put her front and center.
Yes, exactly. So where's the radar?
She sticks out worse. She sticks out worse than a Ku Klux Klan member in the middle of Detroit.
The Democrat Party puts her front and center. They love her. They want the Hill is just like they used to love her. The Hill is just like doing this little kind of minor. Well, a fluff piece to be like, well, if there's things you don't like about her that are is the Democrat Party flagging a little bit? Oh yeah, well don't worry, it's not her fault. Yeah, it is.
Yes, it bloody well is. Hell,
And the
we're better.
Democrats,
Hell, we're better
100%.
candidates.
And
Hell,
the
we're better
Democrat Party.
candidates, and two of us couldn't even run.
Mm-hmm.
That says it all. Hell, I
Her
know.
tough.
Hell, my niece is more
Yeah.
intelligent than AOC. She's
Your
a
niece
freaking
is what?
baby.
Baby, yeah.
She's 13
the
and a half
nuances.
months old.
She's adorable, by the way. The nuances of Congress, like that's a cute ass baby. The nuances of Congress and the levers of power that run it. She did exactly what you would want your number one draft pick to do. She prepared for the moment. Her tough questioning of corporations and industry leaders. Do you want to keep reading this? This is the most disgusting fucking
Wait,
puff
Spoon,
piece.
you've never seen my niece, have you?
I have not.
Oh,
Did you
she's
like
a real
it?
cutie. Dude, though, while we're thinking about that, like, this is just why are we? I know that you responded to this, Spin, didn't you, in a video?
I did, yeah.
Yes, he did that, and I couldn't
It's-
stop laughing as well. I
This
could
is
not
just-
stop laughing at this.
Yeah, 'cause
It's
It's
really
absolutely
funny.
hilarious.
Fellatio. It's pure fellatio. There's no way to
I
describe
hate.
it.
No. Forgive me if this sound. Forgive me for the quote unquote tinfoil
Mhm.
hat part here. That both these articles sly ways of basically shitting on the Democrats and backing the Republicans.
In a way they could never be able to comprehend, but yeah.
No. Like I know this sounds crazy, and hear me out in the chat, right? You know when
Okay.
you have someone post something so utterly stupid that you think it's basically deliberate. They're deliberately trying to lose when in reality they're making the other side win.
Haha, I was just pretending to be retarded. Is that what you mean?
Quite like that. But what I'm saying is someone where they parody themselves
Yeah.
into making themselves true.
Look at there is no denying that AOC would boost GOP turnout as a result of coverage on right-wing networks. It's the same thing as the other Hill article from a totally different author. To scare elderly white voters. And remember
Yeah,
why they want to scare elderly white voters? Because they think,
I said you don't
according
need to
to
do
their
that.
broken brains, that that'll get more actual Democrats.
But I said you
That's
need
not
to
how
do
that
that. All you need to do is just make her talk.
Mhm.
No,
That's
what
the
she
only
has to
thing
do
that
is
you
open
need
her
to
mouth.
get the people to not vote for her, because she just sounds fucking stupid.
She would electrify the
Because she
party's
is
base.
stupid.
Yes, hopefully.
Turn
to
out
Yeah,
the
cardiac
shit.
she's actually
Right.
perfect. She is a perfect weapon
Oh.
for the United States.
I
She's
mean,
like a
maybe this
perfect
stuff's
weapon
so
for the
funny.
GOP. Yeah, you know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of the people who said Jeremy Corbyn is the
This is the best part.
is the biggest nightmare to the Conservatives. In reality, all he did was when in reality he gave the Tories their biggest victory.
Yes.
Okay, by the way, Spoon, just God damn it, don't give me this BS about it's too powerful for Nitro.
This is the best line in this, though. In the age of social media and quick sound bites, no Democrat is more prepared to embarrass a bully like Donald Trump or Florida Governor Ron DeSantis and return some chutzpah to the Democrat Party. There will be no going high when they go low anymore. It appears the only rule is there are no rules, and AOC is ready to enter the cage and fight for our democracy. Ding, 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 ding. There's the word. There's the word. Oh my god. That's one of the worst things I've ever read. I mean, it's just... At least AOC is going to embarrass. AOC is going to embarrass all Donald Trump and Ron DeSantis. All right.
Freaking Discord's not letting me send a picture because it's too powerful.
This is so
don't worry about
gay.
it. It's very gay. So
no, not that. It's like,
stupid.
No.
Stupid.
I don't know what's going on.
Damn it.
We're running out of time. So would you like to see "There's no recession in Bossing" say?
Well, I don't know. Unless Spoon wants to look up cars again, like we failed to do so last
No.
time.
I know. Wikipedia attempts to
reminds me,
change the
Spoon.
definition of recession 41 times.
Isn't it funny how
Wikipedia
Bill
editors-
Clinton explains what a recession was?
Oh,
Well, everyone-
hold on.
2 periods. It's just 2 quarters
Stick to the end,
of
Spoon.
negative growth. But now, like, no. Well, no. That's an idea. That's we don't know.
Oh, really,
It's
really, really.
just
So,
1%.
so I guess Japan and my country didn't have recessions when the
Oh, and
country went
every
all.
other country
But
bases it off of that
yeah,
perception. So,
yeah, definitely. I
but
mean, it's
no.
not like my country's GDP in Q2 of 2020 dropped by 21%, which
No,
per
no, no,
capita
no.
is the
It's in your
lowest
mind.
economic drop
Oh, it's all in your
in the
head.
country's history.
No, it's in your head. Don't worry. The Wikipedia articles will Wikipedia editors will tell you what to believe.
Wait, hold on.
Wikipedia editors
Really?
attempted to change the definition of recession 41 times in 1 week, leading an admin to place a pause on editing. Because, by the way, the people actually trying to edit it are people trying to go in and say, like, no, it's not a recession. Recession is it's ethereal. It's something that maybe exists out in the in space. We can't really define it. It's like magic, right?
I know. Why don't we
It's
ask the Oxford
hysterical.
English Dictionary's definition of a recession, shall we?
I'm sure
Okay,
right
Period
now
of
it's 2 quarters
temporary
of negative
economic
growth.
decline during.
What is it? Sorry, go ahead. Start again, please. Sorry, Kizza.
I'm just going to give you the OED's definition.
Mhm.
Period of temporary economic decline during which trade and industrial activity are reduced, generally identified by a fall of GDP in 2 successive quarters.
Yep.
And that comes from the Oxford English Dictionary, the world's most
Well,
trusted and
it
highest
has not
authority
been
on the English
updated
language.
correctly yet. Don't worry. Soon, the Oxford Dictionary will be updated.
Look,
'cause
Merriam-Webster
that's
does not
old.
count. Only hipsters and retards use Merriam-Webster.
No, I'm just saying soon Oxford will be updated because that's the old.
Look, Oxford hasn't fallen for the woman clause, okay?
Did they not? Okay, cool.
No,
Sorry,
they
so
still,
what was the
literally,
name
the
of the form?
first definition quite literally says an adult female human being.
Oh, good. Ooh.
And guess what the second definition says? A female member of a workplace, team, etc.
I see. Spin,
A
what were you
female
saying?
person
Sorry.
associated with a particular place, activity, or occupation.
Spoon, what were you trying to say?
Alright, what?
You were trying to say something.
I was?
Oh, never mind.
I
so
thought
it's
he was
probably...
checking out how cute my niece is.
Users repeatedly deleted the technical definition of recession that describes the phenomenon as having negative GDP growth for 2 consecutive quarters, as economist Julius Shiskin declared in 1974. Editors appeared conflicted on the proper definition of the economic term, leading to many attempts to either alter the definition or revert it to the original, the Daily Wire reported. Here, there's you can see the
Eating a copy.
long history of people editing and then going back. And of course, they don't want anyone who has said anything that would refer to it under.
You may want to look up the other definitions.
No?
Let's just say some of them are quite funny.
I'm sure they are, but it's... Oh, do you want to look into them?
No, please. This look up specific. Just keep looking down.
Let's... Okay, alright, let's look.
I posted it in the Discord.
Oh, okay, hang on. Oh, this is the woman thing.
Yeah. This
Woman.
is from the OED.
Adult human, female member of the workforce, female person, wife, girlfriend.
Someone's
I'm not
house in
sure.
Kerry. Goddamn,
Just a disrespectful
like,
form of address to a woman.
It's
A
like
female
going back in
person who is
time.
paid to clean someone's house and carry out other domestic duties.
Well, based.
Oh, that's so funny. OED's based. That's so funny.
All right, so.
But yeah, Spoon,
That's
check your
hilarious.
DMs, by the way.
Hmm?
I was saying to Spoon, check his DMs.
Oh. One editor, Soy Bangla, claimed, quote, there is no global consensus on the definition of recession according to the Daily Wire. The number of edits administered to the page led an administrator named Anarchite to lock all edits due to repeated, quote, unsourced or poorly sourced content. There is no global consensus on what a recession is. Okay. Very okay. White House argued the National Bureau of Economic Research defines recession as a significant decline in economic activity that is spread across the economy and lasts for more than a few months. Well, they changed that one too. And looks to various factors including inflation-adjusted income, consumption expenditures, and industrial production, and various employment statistics.
All of them
Google
are making
defines
look
it as,
shit.
quote, that's why they're changing all of it. A period of temporary economic decline in which trade and industrial activity are reduced.
Oh yeah, because it's
generally identified
transitory.
by
Remember?
a fall in GDP by 2 successive quarters. This is consistent. 2 successive quarters. And now Wikipedia's like, no, I don't think so. I don't think so.
You know what Trump never had?
This?
Yeah. Remember when
Yeah, I mean,
retards
Weird,
like
right?
Paul Krugman said, if Trump wins, you're gonna get a recession?
Oh, let's talk about. Do you want to
Yeah.
see the
Did
Paul
you
Krugman
see
stuff?
He is legitimately
Did you see that
retarded.
video?
He's
Yeah, did you see
actually
that interview with
stupid.
CNN? Did you see that interview with CNN?
I'm going to talk about it here in a moment.
What, Krugman?
White House take heat after
Yeah, with Paul Krugman.
redefining recession. So the White House was accused of redefining the word recession on Wednesday
Of course, it
after
makes him look bad.
2008 comments from current White House economic advisor were surfaced, appearing to counter his remarks on the matters this week. On Tuesday, Brian Dees nuts insisted that 2 negative quarters of growth is not the technical definition of
Yes,
recession.
it is. That is literally the technical definition of a recession.
But no,
that
the
is
White House.
definition.
You understand their argument here, right? It's because the White House. Their argument is that whitehouse.gov never said in a definitive post on whitehouse.gov that this is the definition of recession, therefore it's not the definition of recession. That is their actual argument.
That's not how
So
this
the
works.
White House... Yeah, that's not how it works. I mean, is this the same bullshit saying there's no universal term for a terrorist? I'm like, no, there is a clearly defined definition of a terrorist. Did that BS that freaking Snopes or which fact checker was it tried to deny the terrorist was working for BLM?
These people don't know what a woman is. So of course
Exactly.
they don't know what a
what a
recession
man
is.
is. Again, I remember this list before. They don't know what a woman is. They don't know what a man is. They don't know what privilege is.
So
they don't know what white is.
We don't know.
They don't know what
Ooh.
racism is. They don't know what sexism is.
No.
They don't know what prejudice means. They don't know what bigotry means. So as far as I'm
no
concerned,
idea.
these people can't speak English. Insert Samuel L. Jackson quote here.
Yeah.
English motherfucker.
We
do you speak
understand
it?
recession is 2 consecutive quarters of negative GDP growth in a row. And then you have the White House officials come here and say it's not what a recession is, it's something else. Ducey said, how is that not redefining recession? Because that's not the definition. That's not the definition.
Let me find the meme quick. Hold on.
What changed? It's not the current definition.
Oh, the current definition. Oh, okay. No, okay. So,
So
Samuel.
we didn't change the definition, just not the current definition. I see.
Oh, really? So does that mean pie is booming?
The textbook definition of recession is not 2 negative quarters of GDP. What textbook? These people lie to you, they hate you, and they will lie to your freaking face, man. That's the thing that's so insane. Now, I don't know if you saw this, Spoon. I know that we talked about Krugman a little bit, but this stuff's so freaking funny. I have a web archive of this one. So here he is saying he's wrong about inflation. He did a whole talk about this. I don't want to go through this. We've been going on for long enough. But we can go through it. What I get wrong, both the initial debate and way were more complicated than I suspected most people realize. You see, this wasn't a debate between... By the way, Paul Krugman, if you don't know, is supposed to be like the leading economist in the United States, but he's a fucking moron.
But yeah, because he's a Keynesian, and everything he said, he's always been wrong about.
Yeah.
I mean, he quite literally is the reason
he has
why
to
the
literally
2008
say,
recession
I'm
happened.
wrong. Yes, of course you're wrong, Paul. You're always wrong.
Never been right. You quite literally are the reason for the 2008 recession because of your BS political narrative.
And people still listen to this idiot. And it's like, you've never been right.
I'm sorry. Says people bash on experts too much. Here's the difference. An expert knows their craft very freaking well and can explain stuff to even a 5-year-old can understand. And will not have this level of wrongness. If you're wrong this often, as far as I'm concerned, you're not an expert and you should be disregarded and have your so-called qualifications stripped from you.
People should just at least stop listening to him when he can't get a single thing right.
Again, it's like that freaking, what's his face, Dr. Ferguson, in my country.
Yeah.
So appalling.
There's a different Dr. Ferguson I have an issue with, but yeah.
Oh, as in Dr. Ferguson, Mr. I supported the lockdowns, but broke them straight away to have an affair.
I see.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm still trying to find that video of Paul Krugman just being a complete retard.
Mostly here he just talks about like, oh, we're having an argument. We're having an argument. He doesn't explain what the argument's about. He does explains it slightly, but in the more economic terms, here's the odd thing: the multiplier on the rescue plan does, in fact, seem to have been relatively low. A lot of consumers saved those that Trump and Biden gave people, which they didn't actually. A lot, the vast majority spent them immediately. State and local governing spending rose by less than 1% of GDP. Employment is still pre-pandemic level. It is now. It only became that right before Trump left office. Idiot. And real GDP, while it has recovered roughly to a pre-pandemic trend, hasn't shot above it. Yet inflation soared. Why? Much, although not all of inflation surge, seems to reflect disruptions associated with the pandemic. Oh, it's all COVID's fault. All of it's COVID's fault. Every single time. Fear of infection and changes in the way we live cause big shifts in the mix of spending. People spent less money on services and goods. Do you know why? Because they cost more, and they're going to cost more now. These disruptions help explain why inflation rose in many countries, not just in the US. But while inflation was confined mainly to a relatively narrow part of the economy at first, consistent with disruption story, it has gotten broader. And many indicators, like the number of unfilled job openings, so people don't want to work, seem to show an economy running hotter than numbers like GDP or the unemployment rate suggest. Some combination of factors, early retirements. Oh my god!
Here it is. I found it. Hold on, guys.
Here's the cope. Here's why everything costs more. Here's why everything's fucked. Early retirements, reduced immigration, and lack of childcare. That's why the economy's in the shitter.
Yeah, a bit like that guy from which super wealthy was it BlackRock or Vanguard?
You need
who
more
tried claiming
immigrants.
that nationalism and reduced immigration is responsible for this. When sorry, it's the opposite that has caused the freaking problems. Like, just shut the fuck up. By the way, I posted.
He's literally saying that reduced immigration is why inflation is up. But he's also saying
no retard. It's due to the Federal Reserve. When you print between 20 to 80% of physical dollars in your country's history, guess what happens, Paul Krugman? That's right, the currency loses value.
I think it's
that's where you get
Krugman,
inflation.
It doesn't really matter.
No, I'm going to call him.
Call him Krugman.
I mean, quite frankly, he's an idiot. You could play the video I posted.
It sounds like Krugman sounds like a grug, like a caveman name, and he's basically a caveman level understanding of.
Please, if there is a god, give me 5 minutes with him with the cameras turned on so I can rip him apart on basic economics. Please, give me 5 minutes. I will rip him apart so badly he will end up with a mental fit. He'll say, "Oh, what's your study in economics?" I'm like, "I'm an Austrian." "Oh, did you study it?" I'm like, "Yes, I actually read books and understood history, unlike you. Claim to be a teacher." I was like, "Really? So why do you support the theory that is always wrong?"
The leading scholar, apparently, in economics in the U.S.
Yeah, such a leading scholar. He picked the wrong. He picked the second most wrong economic policy he could pick.
He has to literally admit he was wrong.
So... Oh, again, there is one worse than Keynesian, and that's Marxist. Let's be honest here.
Well, he's one step away from Marxism. Yeah. He's a Keynesian, but he's one step away.
Exactly. Keynes was an idiot. Number two, he got ripped apart by the Austrians relentlessly to the point he basically admitted he was wrong. And let's be frank here, every single terrible economic policy for the last 100 years can be traced directly to Keynes.
Yeah, and what does he do? What does he do right here? Oh, whose problem? Why? It's Russia and China. That's the real problem. Looking ahead, the economy is currently cooling off. The decline in the first quarter GDP was probably a quirk, but overall growth seems to be running below trend. So just a quirk, just a random little.
Oh yeah. Sure. How much did the GDP drop in Q2 again?
Massive.
How much was the GDP drop? Let's have a Google on that, shall we, ladies and gentlemen? USA GDP.
Private sector economist. As a private sector economist, I talk
Q1.
mostly and believe that inflation either has already peaked or will peak soon. I'd like to be clear, when was this written? It's early July. I have to be very clear about the date. Okay, guys, because this is important.
Okay.
July
Okay,
21st is when he wrote this article. Yeah?
Yeah, sorry. Q1 of 2020, $24.38 trillion. Right?
Mhm.
Let's look at what Q2 was. If I could find it.
It was 28 in the first. 28,
Okay,
22.
it was down by 31.2%.
Yeah, but it's all fine.
31.2% drop.
No, it's just
Nearly
random.
1/3 of
It's a
your economy
quirk. It's
gone.
a quirk. It's a quirk.
Aiden, to put that in comparison, that's
I know.
worse in 3 months than what my country suffered in 2 years, from 2007 to
I know.
2009.
But according to Krugman, that's just a quirk. As
That's a
private
quirk.
sector economist.
Well, I guess.
Yeah.
I'll guess.
It's a quirk.
Is this the literally
quirk.
Monty Python skit of I chopped your arm off, that's a flesh wound?
Yes, it is. In any
here's the
case, the
difference.
whole experience has
That
been
shit
a
was
lesson
funny.
in humility. He has to admit he's wrong. And by the way, the thing that's so funny about this is that he's about to admit he's not wrong in the next article I show you.
Oh yes, Paul Krugman. Shall we bring up your internet will have as much value as the fax machine quote?
Yeah. Yeah. So 10 days later, after that article, he says that the U.S. is actually not in a recession. Oh, I gotta do my ad block.
It's the same one. I mean, I would love to. I mean, I would make an account just to rip him apart.
No, I
He
got
has
it.
responded to some
It should be up
comments.
here. The U.S. Krugman said the U.S. is not in a recession and argued the partisan debate about the term is meaningless. None
I
of the
posted the link.
criteria.
I posted to the video.
Oh yeah.
I posted a video for the memeology. Put down below if you want to share it.
Oh yeah, let's play this real quick. I love memeology. Yeah.
Doing when you get a chance to share it. Ah.
2020 going
Really?
great. November 19th.
Yeah.
Ignore it. Ignore it. Doesn't exist.
Might have a recession.
Just
but we're
ignore
not
it.
in one now.
The official definition of recession is a judgmental mix of levels and rates of change across several variables, of which continued to expand in the first half of the year. Okay, keep
I'm sorry,
going.
who's GS? Who's GS? Is that Goldman Sachs?
Yes.
Who gives a fuck what they think?
Excuse me.
Can we dispense with the recession
this
debate
is,
real quick?
This is hilarious. Oh, I actually didn't know you were going to play this, but this is so funny.
Are we in a recession, and does the term matter?
No, we aren't, and no, it doesn't. I mean, the
one sentence. That was it, huh?
Yeah, that's it.
That was it.
That's it, thumb boy. that's all it is. All right.
It's none of the usual criteria that real experts use says that we're in a recession right now. And what does matter? What the state of the economy is what it is.
Every economist.
Jobs are abundant, although maybe the job market is weakening. Inflation is high, though maybe inflation is coming down. What does it matter whether you use the R word or not? Yeah, I would say that
it matters
this
to
is
you because you don't want to use the R word.
vitriolic.
Because he doesn't want to use the R word because it hurts his fucking political position. That's why.
Paul Krugman, you're a retard and there is a recession.
And this fat thumb,
and
Brian
also-
Stelter, just wants to agree with whatever you say. So
Yeah, and also, you're the same guy who claims to care about the poor. And you say Austrians hate the poor. No, we don't hate the poor. We hate the fact that they are poor because of
we
people
hate the fact
like
that you're.
you.
Yes, and you're the one you profit off of people being poor and lying to them about saying, "Oh, it's just the way it's gonna have to be." I guess so. Deal with it, nerd.
And you say real experts. Funny how we couldn't name one.
Mm-hmm. Of course not. Of course not. Well, I mean, like
this
is because this is Brian Stelter's one expert, and his expertise is himself.
Yeah.
Krugman is a
When
complete
a bunch of so-called young adults who didn't even study economics know more about economics than you, and you're a professor.
I know.
What does that say, boy? Anyhow, my expertise are in motorsport engineering. But here's the difference, Paul. In that, I had to prove I knew what the hell I was doing.
Yeah.
And if I screwed up and someone got hurt from it, guess what? I'm getting my ass dragged to the courts, and if found guilty, not only am I doing prison
But it's
time,
fine
I
if
have my
it's
qualifications
fine if he doesn't.
stripped from me.
It's fine if he destroys the fucking world. We'll finish this, and I have one more meme after this, and we'll get back to the article.
So go ahead, sir.
I get, I've been in this business for a couple of decades and get lots of hate mail and see stuff. I've never seen anything as bad as this.
People are mean to you, Paul. Oh no, people are mean to you, Paul, when you say things that completely ruin their fucking lives. Oh
yeah,
no,
sure,
how
sure,
dare
sure,
they?
Paul. Sure, Paul. I mean, let's ignore the
Piece of
fact that the
shit.
US GDP shrank by 31.2%.
Oh, but
Which
no,
has
but
never
people are mean to
been
him.
seen.
But
Look, even the Great
Kizza,
Depression didn't have it that bad.
I know, but Kizza, people are mean to him on social media. That means he's actually right.
Combination of a lot of people to say it's a recession is above and beyond anything I've ever seen.
Because it is a recession, idiot.
What do you think is driving?
By every fucking definition, until you redefine the words until you redefine the term fucking recession.
Let's go back to that
partisanship
Oxford
and
English Dictionary definition again.
Mm-hmm.
A period of temporary
A
economic
libertarian
decline
walks
during
into
which trade and industrial activity are reduced, generally identified by a fall in GDP
No, but
in
that's
2
not fair
successive
anymore.
quarters.
Again, I just want to make clear that he claimed that the United States that inflation is fine, and that he was wrong about inflation going up, and then within 10 days also says there's no recession in the United States. He's done the same in 10 days, has pulled this crap.
Polarization getting worse and worse every year, and thus
At which point he also went on CNN here, but yeah, go ahead.
this.
Yeah, it's partisanship. People want it. It's the Biden recession. They want Biden recession.
Do you see this?
Excuse me,
Do you hear crap?
Yeah,
Here's
excuse
the
me,
crap.
Mr.
He's saying
Mr.
that if
How to make the most of Biden's booming economy? Not
he's
at all
saying
bipartisan
right here,
whatsoever.
let's be clear about what the fuck he just said there. Is that if you're having a hard time buying a home or buying food or buying a car, well, that's because you're a Republican and you just don't like Joe Biden because you're a big, bad, nasty Nazi. That's what he's saying there.
Yeah, says the guy who ironically holds
Oh,
the economic
people-
positions closer to what the Nazis held compared to us.
Well, I know, but that's what he's actually saying here, guys. If you can't understand it, it's that if you have a problem with Biden's economy, it's because, or if you have an issue and you see a problem with it, it's because you're being confused by the evil alt-right Nazis. That's what he's saying here.
Oh, yeah.
Let's just be clear about it, you know?
Nazis' economic policy was quite literally just Keynesianism supercharged.
Exactly. Well, we know that because we're not brain dead, but he's gonna sit here and talk
Well, I mean,
about
I bet the retard will still think Nazism is far right, but I doubt he even knows its origins.
No, he has no idea what it is. Yeah.
They're going to have it. Never mind the fact that that it in fact is not a recession in any technical sense.
Are we in a recession, and does the term matter?
No, we aren't, and no, it doesn't. I mean, the
one sentence. That was it, huh?
Mm-hmm. Is that it? Huh? Actually, though, when you look back at his freaking article here that I had, brought up, is that he says he won't call it a recession because he's a weirdo. Where did I put my article?
Oh, totally, Paul. I tell you what, Paul. Do you want me to explain the juice argument I put to you? Because I'm pretty certain kids would understand that. Let's see if you can.
No. No. Where did I lose my fucking space? I lost my place on it, but here. Okay. Oh yeah, right here. So okay, excuse me. We're not in a recession, but not in a recession. What does it matter? But even though right before that, he talked about how he was wrong about inflation. So are we supposed to believe this guy? Excuse me. I don't freaking think so.
Oh, no, because he's
again,
a Keynesian. I automatically disregard what he says.
Well, I'm just saying, here he is just literally 10 days before being like, whoops, I was wrong about that one. Yes, Paul, because you're wrong about everything because you're a disingenuous hack. But since we are playing some memes a little bit. Oop. I didn't want to play this one.
Yes.
My favorite. There's Mangerville, a town that desperately wants to secede. Commies and socialists of all varieties are not welcome.
I really need to rewatch this trilogy.
It's wait, have you seen this video before? This edit?
No, I'm just on a Back to the Future.
Oh my god, everybody in the chat, if you've never seen this edit, it is true art. We have Hans Hermann Hoppe and Murray Rothbard, Enemy of the State, new film being promoted. Atlas Shrugged, a good version this time. This is amazing editing, by the way. I think there's any other memes in the background. Inspirational quote of the day: the only problem with slavery is that it wasn't voluntary. Walter Plot. This is the anarcho-capitalist town.
Nah. It's far too clean and far too orderly for this to be Ancapistan.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I just add like this meme.
Look. Let's be frank here. Ancapistan is quite literally Mad Max.
That's actually why I brought it up, is for this clip. Just arrived. Karaoke hits of Bob Murphy, including his smash hit "I Loathe You." I also loathe you, Krugman. Doug Casey, only losers give to charity. Discounted marginal revenue product. Ludwig von Mises.
All a bunch of filthy socialists.
So ANCAP, it's Ancapistan. ANCAP Security Inc. called Tom, Joe, and Guido for all your security needs. There you go.
Very liberal, no pants, baby.
Taxation is theft. I love it. Just right on. I believe it. I love it. Now, who built the building? I don't know. Would they pay for it with taxation? Well, that would be theft. So, no, thank you.
No. People who built it were the ones who.
People gave the money voluntarily. Yeah, it's voluntarism.
They invested it. They invested it.
I love this video so much.
Wait, who is that? Who is that king?
I actually don't know who it's supposed to be. I declare Parliament dissolved. Who is that actually? Do you guys know who that is? I've never actually known who that was.
Which king was that? Hang on.
I think it's a king. I think it's a modern economist.
Maybe that might be Charles I. It might be a fun depiction of Charles I.
Don't vote for the statist pig. I agree with it so much. I love it. Oh, it makes me so happy. Statist pig. Perfect. Just how I feel. Saturday, second of, so to speak. You get the hop of me, I suppose.
It's gotta be a dream.
That's my favorite video maybe ever made. I love it so much. Anyway. It's so good.
I really want to watch the trilogy again.
It's so good. Alright, we got like maybe 30 minutes before we gotta go to sleep. I know that Spoon is he's been in a mood today.
Actually, that's... I tell you what,
Spoon, how can...
Should we talk about cars since we missed it last time? Because I do have one question for Spoon.
Spoon?
If he muted you,
I think he might have. I was gonna ask him to talk about South Africa, but I'm not going to now. So,
I mean, he already did a great video on it, explaining why South Africa is in a terrible state. So I would highly recommend you check it out, and please do sub if you haven't subbed to Spoon, as well as the lovely Eden Palette. But first of all, subscribe to this channel and please share it. We want to grow this channel.
Oh, thank you.
No, we're at 2.2k subs. We want to get to at least 5k before the end of the year. So please do. Your king demands it.
We're just we're having a fun time around here, man. So Alex Jones concedes Sandy Hook massacre was 100% real as he testifies at defamation trial. Now, I think that I brought into this part. I called it the end of free speech and a bunch of other things. Is that basically the reality is that Alex Jones is not allowed to, by law, according to this ruling. Well, if this goes through, it hasn't gone through yet. Have a personal fucking opinion, right? What it says is that there's a lot through this entire article, but InfoWars made a bunch of money. They want Alex Jones to say that he was wrong, which he did, by the way. Especially since I've met the parents, it's been 100% real. Jones said at his trial, he and his media company, Free Speech Systems, owe for defaming Neil Helson and Scarlett Lewis. Their son, Jesse Lewis, was among 20 students and 6 educators who were killed in the attack in Newtown, Connecticut. Deadliest school shooting in American history. Now, I admit that shit's fucked. But he should still be allowed to say whatever the fuck he wants about it. That's the problem. He should be allowed to say whatever the fuck he wants about whether or not he thought it was a fucking government psyop or what. I don't care.
I mean, technically, the most deadly school shooting in American history was committed by an East Asian.
Yes, the reality is though that is he defaming their children? No. Is he defaming them? No. I mean, he did say some shit that's a little bit defamatory. But the reality is the fucking short and the dirty, the quick and the dirty of the story is that he is not being allowed. He's allowed to, but he's being sued because he made a statement people didn't like and found distasteful. Was it distasteful? In my opinion, yes. But now he can't make a distasteful somebody. He didn't say that the fucking parents did it or some shit. It was I guess it was the parents staging it was the thing, but it's difficult to say. No pants, baby. I agree with you. If he did make that implication. If he really said that the parents implicated it, and I've seen his videos saying it, it's pretty fucked, Alex. I don't agree with that. But I still think that it's kind of an L for free speech. Now, I don't know if I've seen that stuff. If it was super clear in the eyes of the court that he said the parents staged it, that's fucked. I think that's insane, and I think that's not okay. Because then it's defamatory. Okay, that's the problem.
Yeah, well, again, my cure to free speech, Aiden.
Well, I'm very, very pro free speech. So if it is true that he said that he did definitively say that the parents of the Sandy Hook massacre made it all up, well, that's defamatory towards them. So, yeah.
Well, yeah, and he's already been sued before about this.
What? No, I know this is he was sued 6 years ago. That's the crazy thing. They keep bringing it back up. How about this? Is this ever going to get in trouble? Son of Capitol Hill rioter who was jailed for 7 years says his father deserves it because what he did was off the rails violence. But he claims he was used as a puppet for Donald Trump. Jackson Raffett, 19.
Yes. So much violence, honestly. So much violence.
It's the most violent thing ever in the entire history of the United States.
Yeah.
Yes, I know.
Because being welcomed in, a few windows were smashed. I mean, let's be frank, it was less violent.
I mean, someone did take a shit on Nancy Pelosi's desk. That's the big problem, right? I guess.
Well, yeah, but I mean, that's deserved, and also that's an easy way for the cops to trace you down because your poop gives away who you are.
Here's the insane thing about this story, if people don't know about it. Guy, 49, of Wiley, Texas, was convicted by a jury in March of 5 felony charges, including bringing a gun to the Capitol grounds and obstructing an official proceeding. He's serving 7 years in federal prison. He never entered. He never entered the Capitol, but evidence showed him egging on the crowd and leading other rioters to set up a stair outside the building. This guy is going to go to prison for 7 years. Yes.
Yeah. So what happened to that latent Fed who mysteriously disappeared from the FBI's most wanted list again?
It is a mystery. But this dude he's about to go to jail for 7 years. Oh, excuse me. Between 9 and 11.25 years. Excuse me. Oh, he's going to serve 7, but that was his recommended 9 to 11.
Yeah.
How dare he?
Yeah, I'm still waiting for how many times did the BLM rioters who were captured do prison time again?
No, that's fine. It's fine. No, they're allowed to because they're allowed to. Here's
Oh,
his
what
son.
about the people who bombed the Capitol building in '83?
No, that's fine. No,
How
that's
long
fine.
did they do again?
She actually, to be fair, that person did do like 20 years in prison.
Yeah, but she was acquitted by frickin' Bill Clinton.
Clinton.
Or Barack Obama.
Yeah, so she had like 10 years, I think. Yeah, she's like 10 years in prison.
Again, for a literal terrorist act, and also
Mhm.
she ended up working for BLM.
Actually tried to blow up the building, but that's fine. This guy's gonna go to jail for 7 years. And this is what makes me really sad. This is his son. Now, I hate to say this, but I imagine
quite clearly a lefty emo twat.
I imagine he probably identifies. I'm surprised he identifies as a son. But let's listen to what he has to say.
Oh, given one of the mass shooters may have been quote
A federal judge has sentenced a.
Yeah, let's listen what this guy has to say.
Joining us now is Guy Reffitt's son, Jackson Reffitt. Jackson warned the FBI about his father both before and after the insurrection. Jackson, thank you so much for being with us this morning. How are you feeling? How are you reacting to this sentence?
I'm not happy at all, and I haven't been happy through this whole situation.
Actually, he says later he is happy about it, so whatever. That's really funny, because later he says in this that he is happy about it. Well, okay, he says he's not happy about it, but listen to his actual words.
Keep playing. Keep playing, Aiden.
Huh?
Stop it.
What? What's going on?
Play the video, don't stop it.
Okay, sorry.
He has either.
Confused me, sorry.
But to say I'm surprised would be a lie. I mean, everything my dad did, he's his own person, and his action has consequences. But I'm not happy at all.
Do you think he deserves this length of sentence?
Absolutely. He deserves some time.
So he doesn't. I don't like when my dad got arrested, but he should definitely serve his entire 7-year sentence for this, for going in and fucking around
for anything to rehabilitate for his mental health. He deserves a lot of safety nets. But yes, he does.
You have worries about him being in prison that long. You mentioned his mental health.
Absolutely. I mean, the prison system in this country can be pretty harsh for a lot of reasons, and to blame my dad's deteriorating mental health for a pretty bad effect on him.
But let's just be clear about what he said. Is that he's like, yeah, my dad should go to jail for 7 years for walking into the Capitol building.
Yeah. I mean, technically, for a start, it's public property. For a start.
Yes, and secondly, when the son betrays the father, we are living in the end times. And I don't mean to draw that shit out too much, but I'm just saying this is some fucked up shit. The son goes, yeah, fuck my dad. I want him to see.
Wait. No Pants Baby. What's this about 200 grand GoFundMe? Oh, Did he get
a 200 grand GoFundMe?
No. He mentioned that. I'm like, do you have a link to that?
No,
do you have a link to that, by the way?
Oh, I'm sure he got a fucking 200 grand GoFundMe. Let's see though.
I like a 200 grand GoFundMe so I could buy myself a freaking nice house.
Yeah, and then he could. Oh, it's his college fund. Yep.
Let's see.
To $184,000. Thank you for pointing that out. Here he goes.
YouTube, do something about these freaking porn spam bots.
When did this start? You see that? January. Yeah, so in he's raised nearly $200,000 for his fucking fund. Well, he's talking about how his this is no, it's not a joke. No, this is the death of Western civilization. This is the death of civilization in general. Dad went to jail so I could get more money for it. It's truly sickening, honestly.
But, I mean, that's why I mentioned it in my letter.
Do you now, or have you throughout any of this process, had any second thoughts about turning him in?
Absolutely
Who's
not.
already
But
turned in.
it still
Oh, right.
bears
This
the
is the
guilt
kid who
that
turned his dad in. So this kid actually turned his father in. And then made a GoFundMe to get money for it. It's... Now, Jackson, I have something to tell you. I know you're 19 years old and you're a fucking idiot. When you're 25, when you're 30, you will regret everything you did here. That you chose money over your own parents. You're never going to have a place in your family. You have no family. And why would anyone... This is another question. I'll ask you this as well, Kizza. Why would anyone ever want to... And I mean like a woman or a man or whatever he's interested in, ever want to be involved with him? Because you know he's a snitch. And that he would turn you in the second he thought he could get some money out of it. You know what I mean?
Very simple. Because he's a useful informant.
But no,
he's perfect.
I'm just saying, as a woman or a man or whatever, I would never want to go anywhere near this guy as a friend, even in college. I wouldn't want to go within
for
a
sure.
fucking mile
Oh,
of
for
this
sure.
dude. 'Cause he's gonna
for
just...
sure,
he's a
for sure.
snitch.
But for sure. But as Fox P2 pointed out, that shit is straight out of the USSR or even China today.
Yes, it is. It is straight out of the
straight out of
commie
the USSR.
playbook. USSR playbook.
Straight out of the USSR.
Turn in your family.
I mean, quite frankly,
Mm-hmm.
I'll be honest. If I found out a family member was taking any potential chance to side with, let's say, Al Qaeda, I wouldn't report them. I wouldn't waste my time reporting to the police.
Talk to them.
So, no, I wouldn't
You
even
know?
do that. I'd do far worse.
Oh?
Which I cannot
Wait, what would
state
you
on
do,
YouTube.
Kizza? Okay. But I'm just saying, like...
let's just say, has anyone ever watched?
Well, okay, this guy
has anyone
thinks...
ever
this
heard of
guy thinks...
Operation?
Kizza, in this guy's head, he thinks that... Or Zimzemzer, I'm sure. Like, I'm sure that they're non-binaries. I mean, Zimzemzer thinks
Who
that...
cares
I
about
know, I don't
it?
care. But I'm saying that they think that their father is a terrorist, right? Because they've been indoctrinated into thinking that. So let's say you've been indoctrinated into thinking your own father is a terrorist. Do you turn him in? And that's what's happened here, is that this kid thinks that his dad is a fucking terrorist, and he knows that he can get a bunch of money, which he did get a bunch of money. You know, here it is. Here's all the money he got.
Yeah, I'll gladly like that to pay for a house. Yeah, I like that to buy a nice house for my family.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, especially where I live. Like, God, that
At
would
the
go
cost
a
of your
pretty
own
long way.
father? At the cost of your own father.
Now, if it was my
Yeah.
enemies, oh boy, I'll gladly throw every single one of those things
No,
under a bus.
not in a million years. You couldn't pay me. What? There's nothing that you could pay me that would cause me to want to sack. That's horrifying, and it's so screwed up. There's nothing you could pay me. I mean, even the idea of
as for
like,
me,
it's
I mean,
sickening.
that's for me, because I'm a lot more cynical. The only way I'm throwing any one of my loved ones under a bus is because they're traitors.
Well, I guess, but does he think his dad's a traitor? Yeah, he's made less than $200,000.
It's clearly, it's quite clearly a commie.
Yeah, obviously. His father was used as a puppet and manipulated, but that's why he's still going along with it? Let's read his fundraiser. I was interviewed on CNN and got so much support from thousands of people, so many people, blah, 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 who gives a shit? He's just asking for money because he fucking turned in his own father.
Again, I have no respect
His
for
dad's
these
going to be in
people.
prison for 7 years. You know what I mean?
Again,
7 years.
Again, these freaking people, and I really don't wish to use the term people.
Mm-hmm.
But they are barely human, as far as I'm concerned. These people would sell out their own grandmas for a nickel.
Well, here's the proof. Here's the proof.
that they would sell out their own fathers for money. They don't care. They don't care.
I
I
can't
think
wait.
that's evil.
I can't wait for him to be
You are
relentlessly attacked by
evil,
the
Jackson.
jocks.
Oh, here's the
No,
thing.
he's not. No, he's
Jackson,
not. He's not evil. He's just
he is
Randall on
evil.
steroids. No, he's Randall
He
on
is
steroids.
evil. He's
If you know
evil.
who Randall is, you're a legend
No,
and had a
I
good
don't.
childhood.
Sorry. This is
you,
evil, in
you,
my
you,
opinion.
you uncultured swine. Right, to the chat. I know there's going to be a bit of delay to this. Do y'all know the character Randall, the snitch?
From what's that cartoon called? From Recess.
There we go. Now you're proving
Yeah.
yourself to be a woman of culture.
It's been a minute, man. Give me a second. But this guy, he just the rest of the whole article is like, oh, January 6th is literally worse than 9/11. He sort of has his own father. Now,
That's a good question, Vox. I mean, that's a good question Vox pointed out. I wonder if the father, when he's released, will come after his son and do a super ultra turbo late term abortion.
I mean, allegedly you should be able to have an abortion whenever, right? How about this though? Like, go ahead.
No.
Sorry,
I'm just saying that's an interesting question. I mean, we don't know what his father's like. Is he going to be that revengeful?
Maybe
Is he a
his
forgiving
dad's
man?
a dick. I don't know. Maybe his dad's a complete dick. I don't know. We can't really know that. But his dad's gonna be in prison for 7 years, and he appears to be.
He is his own person, and he has made his own.
Here you go. He made his own bed. This is his son. He's 19. I can't even comprehend this bullshit. Because like, if I love my dad, I'm very close to my dad. I can't be like, oh well, my dad deserves anything that happens to him. It's crazy. This guy's a nut. First of all, I'm gonna tell you, Jackson. I don't think you're gonna do really well in your life. I mean, I know you got a bunch of money, and good for you. Enjoy all your money. By the way, this $190,000 for whatever stupid ass fucking school you're gonna go to, that'll be used up in about 2 years. Okay, because you're gonna go to some stupid leftist school. That money will be gone in 2 years. Enjoy that. And Aiden got them daddy issues. I love my dad. I'm really, really close to my dad. That's why this shit makes me so mad. Because my dad and I are super close.
You see, if Aiden actually had daddy issues, she wouldn't be married, let alone actually love her dad in question.
Oh, that's why this story makes me so angry. Is because my dad and I are super close. We talk all the time. And I can't imagine doing this to your own father. It makes me like legitimately fucking ill. This guy, judging him from his appearance, and I hate to say it, but judging from his appearance, he'll be transgender and cut his dick off.
But he's also been pretty much manipulated into making those choices, and it pains me that he is still responsible for his actions.
Jackson, I want to talk about what this has done to your family. This is your mom speaking yesterday. I want to listen to this.
Let's listen to a little bit of this.
No matter if you're a liberal, if you're an independent.
Oh, why did you marry a woman who looked like this? Why would you marry a woman who looks like this? She hates you. She hates God. She hates. Oh my God. Obviously.
A Republican. This is not okay. This is what this is.
You know what this is? This is mother, a divorce, taking control of the children and indoctrinating them into her bullshit, man.
Political persecution. We are patriots. Ashley Babbitt was a patriot. My husband is a patriot. Roseanne Boylan is a patriot.
Oh, wait. I'm sorry. Oh, shit. I'm so sorry. I totally misunderstood what she was saying then. I just anticipated something really dumb. I'm really sorry. Let's listen to what this lady has to say, because his mother actually doesn't agree with him. I just anticipated that she was. I'm so sorry. Let's please let her speak. My bad. I'm so sorry.
This is your mom speaking yesterday. I want to listen to this.
No matter if you're a liberal, if you're an independent, if you're a Republican, this is not okay. This is what this is political persecution.
Mm-hmm.
We are patriots. Ashley Babbitt was a patriot. My husband is a patriot. Roseanne Boylan was a patriot. And all I can say is that y'all can all go to hell, and I'm going back to Texas.
I'm really sorry about
profiling her. I was assuming I made a fucking ass out of me. Is that I assume that she would have had a similar opinion because of yeah, I went into the attack mode because of the Karen hair, but she actually seemed to be a legitimate woman, whereas the son. I'm sorry for that. I really do apologize for that, guys. I was totally wrong on that assumption, and that does make an ass out of me.
What is your relationship like with your mom, with your sisters?
It's been really hard over the past couple of years. The really polarizing differences in how we view our father and the people that are involved in communities such as what my father was in. But and
I think that now I could be wrong again, but yeah, now I know what it means. What happens when we assume. Aiden, you're right, Arden. But I think this guy probably doesn't agree with what his mom said. But we'll see. We'll see.
it feels like we're each pulling on each
Good for
string
his mom.
one way. But I don't view this as a political matter. This is more of what is morally correct and how to go about it. And what my father was manipulated into doing.
Manipulated. Okay.
What
But that's why you turned him in, right? You turned him in because he was manipulated. Okay.
he led to think was the best and only way to do it. He decided as an adult to make those choices. And whether my family views it any differently, it doesn't have an effect of the outcome. Yeah.
When you heard what your mom said there, what do you think about what she said?
This, I mean, realistically, this doesn't have a matter of political.
First of all, he's got Metal Gear posters at the back, which is based and cool. But I get the feeling that he's not probably in conversation with any of his parents at this point. I don't know. This person will. I don't know. Probably they're a Zimzer. Who knows?
Opinion. What my father did is far from politics. This is completely off the rails violence. Whether it had a political motive at this point doesn't matter. It's more about what he did and who he did it for.
And yeah, good, so good on his mom, because that's so rare these days to not just be like, oh well, no, I'll just turn on my husband. And what do you think, by the way, Kizza, of the idea that there's so many people who are just going to all these young kids who are just like, oh, it's so based and so cool to be trans and be non-binary, and I'm just gonna destroy my parents. I think these kids are gonna end up being very sad and alone and very, very messed up as adults.
I mean, the idea of being T is frankly moronic. I mean, what is so-called based about having a 41% suicide rate? What is based about living a life of pure denial? Like, what is based about any of that? No, that is moronic and borderline.
I don't know if this person is trans.
They are mentally. No, he's clearly a leftist. He's clearly a leftist. He's been infected with the filthy cancer. He's clearly infected with the cancer, and I hate to be that guy, but his dad clearly failed with him. Clearly failed.
It's hard for a dad to win when he thought your kid to a public school 10, 20 years ago. We didn't understand it back then that sending your child to a public school meant that they were going to be inculcated into an extreme leftist ideological cult. We didn't know that, so you can entirely blame his dad for that. Yeah?
Aiden, even in the days of the pure red scare, if a son was like this, the father ultimately failed in his job. Just like the mother failed with the daughters and vice versa, and also the in-between as well, when it comes to dating the opposite sex. And this is something I've said
Again, I don't know if this person is transgender. I get kind of the feeling they are based on the hair, but I don't. They could just be a metalhead. I don't know.
It's quite clearly Clearly, he's got that emo/goth level, but like he hasn't gone full blood yet.
He's got nice hair. I'm just gonna be honest. Like, I'm a little bit jelly.
It's incredibly. It's frizzy as hell, and it looks like he hasn't washed it in about 3 days and needs some good conditioner on that. But that's just me.
My hair used to be
not speaking as someone who's in any sense a style guru, but I can tell if someone has good hygiene or not. And based on his hair, I would not believe it.
Well, maybe you're probably right. Damn it! What was my next thing? I had another stupid thing. That one really makes me upset. Let's just continue for a moment, though.
it seems like, your sister Peyton, listening to her, she feels kind of caught in the middle of this. She was there at the courthouse.
Yeah, she's
she loves you. She made that clear yesterday. She thinks that
yeah.
your dad, if he's getting this time, that Trump should be getting some time. What do you say to that?
Absolutely. When she said that, I was flabbergasted.
Yeah, because she wants your dad to probably not be in prison, and has probably also bought into. I don't know how this happens. Like, okay, I'll tell a little bit more shit, right? Like, look. I mean, I grew up in a very conservative household. By that I mean, like, well, by today's standards, extremely conservative household.
Yeah. Have I told you about using that word?
I know. I'm saying by today's standards, I'm
Just say
doing all that
old
shit.
fashioned. Say
Old fashioned
or
household.
old school.
Yeah, but my hippies, you know what I mean? So like they don't like like they're cool with gays for the most part. They're cool with
And I hate to be that guy, but
Mhm.
hippies are gay and wrong. They rolled around in their little
They rolled in what? Sorry, say again.
Hitlermobiles, aka VW Beetles.
But I mean, like, I think that they tried their best, and my parents are very, very open. I would say they're very liberal in many ways, but they're also not. In that, why they're
American
not is that
liberal or English? English
American
liberal or
liberal,
American liberal?
American liberal. They
Also a
American liberal
leftist.
as of 1970. You know what I mean? Like that's where their politics kind of stopped, and that's how I believe in stuff. I think I don't know, man.
I'd argue, what is the real difference?
Well, we know what the difference between a American and English liberal is. It's a big difference, but
Oh yeah.
my
One is about freedom. The other is just a Marxist slant.
pretty much. But my parents were, they were like big Beatles and Rolling Stones fans, and all their politics back in the day when I was born. My dad is a hardcore conservative at this point, and I know you don't like that word either.
These fucking porn span bots need to fuck off.
I know.
I'm getting really YouTube. Seriously, get rid of these already.
Hey, thank you, Arthur.
For a multi-billion-dollar corporation, you can't get rid of these freaking shitty-ass bots. Honestly,
Whatever.
I would love to find these companies, like billions per day. If they don't, every time they fail, they don't fix this. Watch how quickly they'll fix these problems.
We have to deal with though is that right now is that Alex Jones is on trial. He says it's that the Sandy Hook massacre is 100% real. Oh my god, you're really doing this. You really forced me to do this. Fuck you, CBS. I already did this earlier. He says it's 100% real, etc., etc. They're still going to try to put him on trial for $800,000. Is that it? No, they want like a huge $150 million is what the family wants from him for him saying that he thought it. If they get that money, it would mean that if you ever report on anything ever and it turns out to be fake and you have a wrong opinion on it, no matter whether or not you can find evidence on whether or not it's wrong, then you can fucking get fined huge amounts of money.
Oh, right. Media going to be victims of this? Considering all the fake news and
Of
propaganda
course
they pushed?
not. Oh, no. They're protected because they're the special. They're the anointed class.
Yeah, I'm
That's the
sorry.
thing.
How many media corporations will write about? I don't know, weapons of mass
How about
destruction
this?
in Iraq again?
How about this? People smugglers use social media to advertise channel dinghy crossings up to £5,000 per trip. Probe shows, but one trafficker is offering a cut price summer sale for £3,500.
Excuse me.
We're not supposed to report on any of this, I'm sure. This will all become fake and bullshit later.
This shit's old. No, this shit is old news, by the way, because I remember LBC did a thing where they actually founded.
It's from today.
No, Aiden. LBC founded a fucking human trafficker in like Birmingham.
This is all human trafficking.
No. But here's the funny thing. I remember V did an article on this, and they actually found the person guilty of this.
Mm-hmm.
He was arrested. These people are paying £7,000 to escape poverty.
How do you have that much money to escape poverty? £7,000 in U.S.
As
money,
well, like
guys. By
me.
the way, I'm just saying.
The most I've ever had in my bank account.
Let's look it up.
It's about £4,000.
Pound to USD.
It's about $9,000. It's about $9,000.
Is it? Oop.
Okay,
Yeah, you're right.
okay.
85. So how are they
slightly
able to pay this much money? And well, they're saying they're offering the discount price of 3,500. Was it again pound to USD? 3,500.
So what? Just over about $4,200?
$4,000? How are you able to pay for this?
I tell you how. People traffickers are giving them the money.
People traffickers.
They ain't got the
That's
money for shit.
Exactly.
And I wonder who funds the people traffickers, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh,
I wonder who.
no, they're innocent little migrants who don't have any money or any capacity. It's not that these are being funded by external fucking NGOs or anything. Oh no.
Oh, totally. I believe him. I totally believe him.
I believe them a lot too. I believe everything they say. All right. I would like to get through. We're not going to go through these two articles. Those are for Spoon, and I think that he's mostly tapped out. Things that I didn't get through.
He did upload the video. He did upload a video, by the way.
I know.
Things I
was not able to get through last week. Is hair loss and sexual dysfunction join a list of COVID symptoms. 2 million people in the UK are estimated to be suffering from long COVID, the Office of National Statistics reported in June. It makes your dick soft, and it makes you lose hair. So basically, like, let's just be clear. Any health problem you have from now until the end of humanity is a COVID problem. How about this one?
Oh yeah. Just don't bother investigating how many people actually died of COVID. By the way.
Yeah. How about this one? Oh, or
what's that? Is that from? Who is that again? Is that National Post? National Post.
It sure is. And COVID prematurely ages our immune system? Oh, it's just a random effect that your immune system is just being randomly aged. It's all COVID's fault. The fact that you're going to die earlier is just all COVID. COVID, too, can cause immune system dysregulation. Now, if you've watched any of my streams earlier, you'd know that so can other things, including anything that's designed to, fix COVID. Long story short, COVID-19 leads to lasting and possibly permanent changes in immune cells in some, but not all people. So if you die, well, COVID. You had COVID at one point? Oh, well, that's COVID.
Oh, yeah, that old chestnut.
Research is suggesting that T cells, this is actually not correct, but it's fine. It's fine. National Post, you can lie. The cells that help, blah, blah, blah. The scale isn't this clear. However, quote, I've read this brief, a potential increase in acquired impaired immunity in the Ontario population would have significant impact on the incidence and associated burden of infectious diseases and other conditions in the long term. So in other words, you're going to get sick. You're going to get sick a lot more.
Yeah. Let's not question all the massive rise in AIDS.
Oh, don't ask about that. That's very bad. That's very bad. Now, you should always fucking trust the science. That's the thing. You should always trust the science every single time. Oh, wait. Oh, critical elements of leading Alzheimer's study possibly fraudulent. Uh-oh. Oh no, what are we supposed to do? Critical elements of one of the most cited pieces of Alzheimer's research in the last 2 decades have been purposely manipulated, according to research in Science, which is a medical journal. So they made it up. They made it up decades ago. And we're just now finding out about it 30 years later.
Oh, well. Funny, huh?
Get with it. Get over with it. Just deal with it. You'll be fine. It's absolutely insane that, as a scientist, it makes me very upset. Now, and just to say what it says is that the study which looked into cognitive decline in mice proposed that a specific amyloid protein may be responsible for cognitive decline. The hypothesis has since dominated the field, and researchers have worked for years to understand the mechanism by which such proteins may lead to decline. A neuroscientist in Tennessee, Vanderbilt, Professor Matthew Schrag, said in a Science article that he and other reviewers have identified as many as 10 papers on the protein that deserve deeper scrutiny. The report also cited other prominent researchers who have had difficulty replicating. Now, the replication crisis is huge, but it shouldn't be huge in the medical sciences the way it is in the social sciences. I focus on what we can see in the published images and describe them as red flags, not final conclusions, he told Science, more revealing his role as a whistleblower. The data should speak for itself. And by the way, it always fucking does. That's why I do what I do. I just report on data. The reality is that it appears that there's a really big problem here. His co-authors on several papers is Dr. Karen Ash, also Heart of the matter is that whether the images in multiple papers were manipulated to better support a hypothesis within the work of a researcher, Sylvian Lesnay, under particular examination, Lesnay, an associate professor at the University of Minnesota, is now under investigation by the university. So for 30 years nearly, this Alzheimer's research has just been considered to be fact, and it's not. How about this? Have millions been taking antidepressants with harmful side effects for decades? The reality is yes. That SSRIs don't do shit.
Oof.
And I'm telling you this as someone who took SSRIs. Now, serotonin reuptake inhibitors, SSRIs, are used to deal with depression. We knew when this medicine became very common that the problem with SSRIs is that one of their most common side effects was depression. Wait a minute, that sounds kind of stupid, doesn't it? If you're trying to treat depression, why is depression the most common side effect of your drug? Well, I could tell you why.
Geez, or maybe it's because it's not actually treating it.
It's because you're affecting a part of the brain that you don't have the capacity to affect with the certain chemical that you're dealing with here. And it makes no sense. I could have told you this. And I'm a fucking graduate student. Well, I was a PhD student. I was not involved in any kind of medical shit. And I could have told you this shit. And you still have fucked it up this bad. Because they don't give a shit. They want to harm you, essentially. That's the only thing I can say at this point, that they want to harm you. Anywho. Those are the big articles I had to go through today, without the ones that I think would... Unless you want to go through the South Africa stuff, which might wake Spoon up, but I don't know. The South Africa stuff is... Things are not going really great in South Africa. 8 models gang raped at music video shoot in South Africa.
Again, when has South Africa been good? Oh, that's right. When the so-called English/Dutch were running it.
Mm-hmm.
A bit like as Spoon correctly pointed out, that is what happened when white people left Mugabe's country. Was that Zimbabwe? Yeah. Was it? Yeah. What happened again?
It didn't work out great. The reality is that you can't do this stuff. 8 models have been gang raped at gunpoint by a group of 80 men who ambushed the cast and crew of a gospel music video shoot in South Africa. The production team was reportedly offloading equipment and setting up at an abandoned mine when the armed gang attacked on the outskirts of Krugersdorp. Spoon, come back and pronounce this word for me. Krugersdorp?
What word is that?
Krugersdorp? I think it's Krugersdorp. A small town near Johannesburg on July 28th. According to the police...
Krugersdorp.
Yeah, Crocus Dorp.
He'll pronounce it with his own way, though. The police, according to the police, the gang forced their way into the video shoot and raped 8 women aged 18 to 35 from the cast. The crew of 20...
unless I hate to be a downer on this, but there we go. Nothing back. I mean, isn't South Africa still the #1 rape capital in the world?
No, I don't think it's that
pretty
bad.
It's not that bad, but it's pretty bad.
It is up there.
I swear it was ranked #1 in the world because I know Sweden was.
No,
ranked
it's
6th
not
in the world.
#1, but it's if it's ranked number
Google
one.
this.
Hang on, if it's ranked #1, I'd say if it's ranked #1, it's because South Africa has more reporting than a lot of the other countries in the world. You know what I mean?
It's blacks.
No, well, I'm just saying that there's more
Again,
reporting.
countries
There's more of
where-
an infrastructure. There's not in most of the countries where the massive rapes happen. Yeah.
#1, it says here South Africa.
There you go.
South Africa's #1. Suriname, Costa Rica, and Grenada.
Whoa! Nicaragua.
I just read how it's pronounced.
I thought you said it in a way that was rude.
Nicaragua.
In other words, though, a bunch of 16 girls were raped, I believe. Ultimately, this is one of the articles. There's ultimate were raped, and it's just like, oh, whatever, I guess. And this is the now. As we head out, would you be willing to read this Daily Mail article that I know you've read in your own video? But
must read.
Spoon, white people will be the first target of South Africa's Julius Malema.
No.
Warns of repeating. You won't read it.
No.
Oh, well, we know this to be true because it's not like they've been advertising for years to kill the farmer. Years. It's not like they haven't been doing that shit for years.
I'm trying to get better
kill
at
the
pronouncing it.
bull.
Spoon, sorry. Boer. I'm trying. We're trying.
I mean, dare I say,
So they're gonna kill the boar.
Should my country recreate Rhodesia but expand it?
It's pretty fucked, though. There's nothing anyone can
Yes
do.
for 1 or 2 for no. Oh, there is something that could be done, but sadly that would violate the Geneva Convention.
Yeah. So Spoon has a video on this article. I would highly suggest watching.
Yeah, please do.
I think, though-
Before, was it after you've liked and subscribed?
After you like and subscribe, however, I think that we're gonna head out for the evening because
Well, while Spoon's back, I do have a question for him. Long tail or short tail?
Short.
Yeah.
Long tail just looks weird.
All right. Well, guys, we've been going on for a little over 3 hours. I think we're gonna head off for the evening because I think we've all had a good time. I think Spoon's
Yeah, I
tired.
mean, it's fine. I mean, I'm still fresh. I could just continue my F1 career.
Oh, we could talk for a little bit. Actually, if you guys would like to still hang out for a little bit, I'm still not entirely sleepy quite just yet. So I mean, I'm
Arthur
sleepy.
Arthur just wants to frickin' moan about the ruble. So say how we're wrong about talking about how it's rebounded.
Yeah, because how dare finance experts know more than a 21-year-old?
Well, I mean, considering the fact he made in favor of MMT, which is just a cancerous ideology.
You're listening to someone who favors MMT.
Okay, Arthur
Just
making
is
it clear,
arguing for MMT, but we'll get. Here's the thing:
God, it's like
if you
arguing
would like
with
to
Adam
continue
over
to
economics.
debate with us, talk some shit to me or talk some shit to probably not Spoon because he'll be asleep, but or talk to some shit to Kizza. We will be in the podcast, which is linked down below on the Discord. We'll be there for a little bit and we'll hang out for a little while. Also, guys, I just want to say before we head out, I hope that my video will be out tomorrow. If not, I really don't like putting out videos on Friday because they don't work out well. But yes.
Wait, Ada,
'cause I
you
don't-
still need my recording, remember?
Oh, I do. I have one last recording for you. I'll have to get it from you tonight. Anywho, so
Nice.
everybody, if you have enjoyed the show, thank you all for watching. You're all super awesome, and we will be here every week on Wednesday around this time and hang out. We'll talk to you, Arthur, in just